Yeah, where are all my people in the madhouse? I'll be a guide, climb aboard and sit your ass down. Don't worry, there's no need to fear when you hear. You know we're right here. We got the crew and we're ready for a game time. You're not ready to step inside a deranged mind. Yeah, this is what you came here for. We got machinima news and fuck yous. It's the goddamn ward.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another horrifying edition of the Wardcast. And it's Halloween-ist month.
That's my ghost sound.
It was terrible. Okay.
Or Tigger. One of the two.
And we talk about the latest news, the cinema, survival horror, and what's going down on Shaun Clark. Yeah.
How dare you?
I can't see Shaun's face right now, but it doesn't matter. I don't need to look at it. Okay.
Wow.
As we're in Halloween this month, I thought I'd ask everyone a morbid question. And the question is, how would you like Chris Redfield to die?
Punching a boulder.
Yes.
I just want him to die. I don't care how, really. I really like the way that Wesker snaps his neck in RE5. That's good for me.
Funny enough, Waffle said the same thing. You know,
yeah, because
I posted a question earlier and thought,
fuck Chris Redfield.
Yeah, people like his neck being broken, apparently. So, yeah, Shaun.
It'd be cool if, in Umbrella Chronicles, when him and Jill are dodging the lasers in whatever Antarctica or wherever the fuck they are, they both do this dramatic laser backflip thing. It'd be cool if Chris just got taken out by the laser there, but Jill was fine.
Jill just pushes him. She's
yeah, it's just whatever.
She's oh, my bad.
And then she just continues on like nothing happened.
Yeah.
But in realness, I feel like
Realness.
I've talked about they need to be killing off characters anyway, and they probably should have killed off Chris or Leon by now. And I feel like the Wesker confrontation probably would have been a good opportunity to kill him. Kill him off while he's fighting his nemesis. He sacrifices himself for the greater good. He's done, he's gone, and they move on. Not in a volcano, but just, some kind of epic fight. Kind of like what they were alluding to when they did Code Veronica X, or Code Veronica. That kind of a fight, I wanted to see that evolve. Where, at that point in time, Chris was not a beefcake. He wasn't fucking eating steroids constantly to go after Wesker, so he was a little bitch, and he got his ass handed to him. And that was kind of the point, I thought. He gets pissed off, he got his ass kicked, he eats all the steroids, and then he goes and punches a boulder up his ass or whatever. But, he could have died in the process, and that would have been cool. That would have been a great arc for him instead of, now what? He's some fucking dipshit in 8. Anyway.
Done.
That's fine.
Lee, how would you like...
Just have him be killed by a generic werewolf. Be done with it.
See, now you're implying you want werewolves to be in Resident Evil.
They're in it! There's
yeah,
no...
but you want them.
I mean, that game's a circus anyway, so whatever.
Anyway, Lee, how do you want Chris Redfield to die?
I mentioned this before. Basically, in the fanfiction, Steve and Chris are arguing in the butcher shop in Resident Evil 6. They struggle, Chris falls backwards, and he falls into the minching machine along with Steve. That's how I want him to die.
Why is Steve there?
Because he's equally annoying, and I want him to die as well.
He's resurrected just to be in that scene to die again?
Yep.
Poor Jazz.
Well, Jazz is there, and what the fuck's happened to Jazz?
I'm the one pushing Chris.
And you accidentally push him into Steve, and he goes too.
Yeah, because I thought he was dead, so I didn't know. No witnesses.
Well, my answer would be, seen as Village is kind of alluding to people not being able to trust one another. I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be cool if Claire was somehow under the spell or some shit, and it forced her to kill Chris? Then in later games, Claire eventually turns out to be evil, an evil character, and that Leon has to stop Claire.
And then she kills Leon.
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
It's funny because now that you mentioned that, we had like this long going joke. The first time I ever saw that little fuck up cutscene in 5 where Wesker snaps his neck, we made a joke that like Wesker like he's like filming it with his phone, and then he's like, "Hey, check this out," and he fucking like texts it to Claire. So Claire just gets a text and she's like, "Oh, it's from Chris," and she looks and you just sees like his neck snap, and she's like, "Okay,
That's fine.
I
Sets that as a ringtone.
it had to happen." Yeah, some freaking wallpaper like.
And the noise is the ringtone.
His neck is just
The
Yeah.
fuck?
fuck Chris.
I'll fuck him in the ass. Right. Anyway, it's come to my attention that I totally forgot about introducing everyone. So I'm your host, Alec Funnell, and here is my thingamabob.
This ship now carries enough Simtex on its key structural points to blow it out of the at the touch of this button.
Could almost hear all that.
Did you hear all that?
Almost.
We got a gist of it.
I'll send it to you in post.
Okay.
Anyway,
You always say
joining-
that, and you never do. That's fine.
I always send it to you.
Sometimes.
You just
Sometimes. The last, 2 times, you didn't send me shit, because I checked.
get
Isn't that a good thing that he doesn't send you shit?
Please don't send me shit. It's smelly.
Anyway, that's Sean. Hi, say hi, Sean.
You're pointing at nobody, but hello. Hi. Hello. That's me. That's my name.
Also joining is Jazz Rich.
Hello.
And also joining is my brother Lee Funnell.
Evening, fuckers.
Yeah.
Charming. All right, now we know who we are. Thank fuck for that, because I don't remember who that guy is. Who's that guy? Or that guy? Or that bitch?
Wow, wow, you pointed at me when you said that. How
Sean's
dare
bitch.
you?
He called you
Yeah.
a stupid baby.
Yeah. Right, now we turn to Sean's bitch corner.
Excuse me? Excuse
Yes.
me?
Yeah, it's because you're a bitch.
Wow. Wow. So I'm
I'm a bitch in it.
I'm a little divided on what I wanted to talk about here. First I wanted to talk about a commercial I heard on the radio coming home from work about how fucking alien, Jesus is an alien no, what was it? Jesus is gonna save us from the aliens, and that's somehow in the Bible, and all this crazy shit. It's been too long now, I kind of forgot it. But if the Bible was a story about Jesus fighting aliens to protect the Earth,
Nazis.
I'd read that shit. That'd be a good book. But it was a real commercial talking about how fucking Jesus is coming back from the dead to fight off aliens, and they're talking about this on the radio like it's just fine and real and normal, and I'm just like, all right, I mean, I get you want people to read the Bible, but what the fuck are you talking about? Jesus Christ. Anyways, the big thing though is have you guys seen Sony's new or PlayStation's new terms of service? Anybody notice this at all? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the fucking problem. Nobody knows about it because nobody reads those goddamn things and nobody seems to give a shit. But guess fucking what? It's a goddamn problem. And the terms of service that they updated they keep getting worse. Every time they update this shit, it's more and more fucking shady. And we're gonna go over a couple of the things that are in that fucking thing because it's not good. It's not good at all. Alrighty, so first off, no warranty. So no warranty is given about the quality, functionality, availability, or performance of PSN services, or any feature or content offered on or through PSN. All services and content are provided as is and as available, with all faults. We may change, add, or remove functionalities or features in our PSN services, and we may suspend or stop our services altogether. We do not warrant that the service and content will be uninterrupted, error-free, or without delays, in addition to the limitations of liability of this agreement.
Well, that makes sense.
That's fucked up. We
It
can
makes sense, though.
we can just discontinue this service tomorrow and throw all your shit that you bought in the trash, and it's fine.
But you know why they're doing it?
Yeah, because everything's going to digital and they're covering their ass.
No. Because of coronavirus. Lack of internet. So they have to do limited content.
Maybe. I feel like
Mhm.
it's probably both. Because as things become more and more digital and they plan for the future, going from console to console and changing and evolving their service, at some point, PSN as you know it will go away. It will stop and everything that you have on there will not be available anymore. So they're saying, hey, guess what? This is a thing that's could happen. We're not liable for it. And we
Well,
give
that's
you
fine,
no
because-
warranty whatsoever. If you
That's fine,
buy
'cause you want...
that's saying, so like if you buy a PlayStation game through the network and it corrupts your system or destroys your system or whatever, they're not liable in any way. They don't owe you a replacement copy of the game. They don't cover your PlayStation. They don't need to reissue the digital game, anything. You bought it, you took a risk, and maybe that didn't turn out so well for you, and they're just not liable in any way. That's fucking ridiculous. That is absolutely insane. Anyways, there's more too. So modifications. We may modify the terms of this agreement at any time, including imposing a fee for creating accounts or for any PSN service. So again, they can modify or cancel at any time. You're agreeing to that. And they can just implement fees and increases whenever the fuck they want. And you've already agreed to it. So like say you buy a game, or even just like you're paying for PSN and you have to have PSN to play your games online, and they decide to triple the cost of what that is. That's okay. Everybody agreed to that. Like they can do anything they want, basically, is what this is saying. It's so fucked up. All intellectual properties rights subsisting in PSN content, including all software, data, services, and other content subsisting in or used in connection with PSN. The online ID and access to content and hardware used in connection with PSN belong to SIE, its affiliates, and licensors. So use of the terms own, ownership, purchase, sale, sold, sell, rent, or buy in this agreement or in connection with PSN content does not mean or imply any transfer of ownership of any content, data, or software or any intellectual property rights from SIE, its affiliates, or its licensors to any user or third party. So again, they're saying you don't own anything. Whatever you pay for, you're not buying or owning in any way anything that you pay for through PlayStation Network. Fucking bullshit. And this one's kind of interesting. You may not create any derivative works of the content, attempt to create the source code from the object code, or download, stream, or use any content for any purpose not expressly permitted herein. So technically, with that said, they can stop streaming, Let's Plays, machinima, anything involving any content that Sony's involved in. So any game that's published on a Sony platform, they can shut that shit down. That's concerning.
I think you're over exaggerating on the thing of that, because let's just face it, there's a lot of streamers, there's a lot of gamers that it would be a bad business for them to go, all right, no, you can't do that. The reason they might have done this policy is because there's some YouTubers or whatever streamers out there that is taking advantage and doing it unlawfully. It's like, or could be doing content that could be harming others, like children or something. And that's probably why they've issued this thing. It's like, right, okay, this is happening, we're going to stop it.
That is possible, but they cover that pretty much exactly what you just said in a completely separate column. So maybe that's included in this, but the way that that's phrased in a court of law, you could purpose that towards whatever you want. Like they could use that in that specific way if they wanted to, because that's what it says. You can't have any kind of derivative work whatsoever, including streaming. They mention that straight out. Like just they mention streaming. So any use of any content on their platform licensed through Sony, you're not allowed to use it in any way unless they agree, unless they say that it's okay. So if they are okay with streaming and all that shit, it's their choice to do that. If they're not okay with it, they can shut that down legally. And the only way that would be disputed would be to go to court, because it says so in their terms that you can't do that without their permission. That's fucked up. That's giving them this little change in the user agreement that nobody's looking at, gives them a lot of power if they choose to use it. That's not fucking good. And they can also control it. You know, if they wanted to be like, okay, well, yeah, you can stream our shit or use it in X, Y, and Z way, but you've got to pay this amount. Like the power is in their hands with the way that this is phrased. And it's a legal document. So even if it didn't mean that and they decide later it does, it doesn't matter. It's right there. You agree to it, whatever the intentions are. That's their call. That's not good. One more thing. Access to purchased items upon our confirmation of your transaction and subject... access to purchased items upon our confirmation of your transaction and subject to the applicable usage terms. You may access the PSN content you ordered through the account that you used to complete the order. You bear all risk of loss for accessing the content and for any loss of content you have downloaded, including any loss due to a file corruption or hard drive crash. You are solely responsible if you do not choose to download or access the content before it is removed or your license expires. Yeah. So again, if something gets discontinued on PSN and it's no longer downloadable and your hard drive crashes, it's just gone. There's no way to get it back. They're not liable. That's just how it is. That's fucking ridiculous. Like, you bear all... Like, I'm noticing a trend here where it's like, it's all risk, it's on you, you're agreeing to that. Doesn't matter what happens. If you buy something, you give us the money and you get a copy, or you're supposed to get a copy of the download, and you don't get it, we don't owe you a replacement. Nothing is covered. We're not liable for anything. If you lose it, it's gone. You got to buy it again. Tough shit. Like, that's it. The way that this is fucking put together is really fucking shady. Not good. And as things go more digital, and this is more just common, like everything is just purchased through this user agreement because it's all digital. You're downloading all your games, therefore everything is funneled through these terms.
Yeah, funneled.
So every game you buy
is Alec.
And lead.
Is subject to these terms. So these are not good terms. These are not consumer-friendly terms. This is cover our ass. Everything bad that happens is on the consumer, and you have no warranty, and we don't owe you shit. And even before this adjustment to their terms, have you ever had to deal with Sony in terms of a digital purchase? It's a fucking nightmare. Because what was it? I think it was Dead or Alive 5. I bought, I think it was the Ultimate version, and somehow it downloaded the regular version, which is fucked up, not my fault. But I had to fucking talk to like 4 people, and it literally took me an entire day of bitching and complaining and proving and doing all these things to justify getting the game I bought. That's fucking ridiculous. I gave you money for this thing. You didn't give it to me. and like you're not just going to fucking do the right thing for the customer and give them the right game. Like, all they had to do is revoke that one license, give me the correct license, done. But instead, I had to fucking yell at people for a whole fucking day, get pissed off, waste my time for them to barely accommodate such a basic fucking thing. And this revision means they don't have to do any of that. They're not liable to any of that. They don't owe you a replacement or an explanation or anything. You're just fucked. If you buy Resident Evil 4 and they give you 8 instead, tough shit. Deal with it. That's what this says legally. Whether they are going to treat it as such is in their hands, but they can do that. That is fucked up shit. There you go. But yeah, that was a big fucking piss off point for me, I guess. I saw that as soon as first off, when they updated the user agreement, I couldn't log into PlayStation Network at all, and they didn't tell me why. I had to Google it to figure out why I couldn't even connect to the PlayStation Network, to find out that I had to quit out of my account, log back in, so it would prompt me to agree to these terms before I could even use my fucking PlayStation online shit whatsoever. Anyways, so that's what flagged this to me. It's like, okay, well, they're updating their terms. This is probably going to be some bullshit. I guess I better read it. And I'm glad that I fucking did, because like this is something that people should know. Like we've talked about before, this shouldn't just be some little like, oh, we're updating our terms, agree and play your game and then move on. This should be mentioned like, hey guys, this is a big deal. Pivotal things are changing in our policy that will affect you. Fucking read this. But nothing, this isn't in the news. There's no prompt other than, hey, terms are updated. There should be more ownership of what the fuck this is. And they should stress to the consumer, like, hey, there's a reason to read this. It will affect you. Make sure you read this. Confirm. Double confirm. All this bullshit with your password where it's like, oh, fucking put your fingerprint in and your ID and do 48 passwords with all these crazy characters. Like all this security shit, they make you double and triple down to protect your identity. But when it comes to making a purchase and spending your money and your protection in that regard, they don't give a shit. Why don't they make you confirm the same way, where it's like, confirm like repeatedly to make sure you're reading this and understanding it. Fucking put a quiz at the end of it or something. Like, you need to push people to read this shit because it's fucking important.
If they put a quiz on it, then you'd never be able to purchase anything.
Good.
Maybe.
If you don't understand these terms, you should not buy anything on the fucking PlayStation Network, because you need to understand what it means. Sorry, go ahead, Lee.
I tell you what will make people read it is if they read it all, they get a platinum at the end of it. Easy platinum.
Wow. There you go.
But then This isn't just because Sony's doing it doesn't mean every other company's doing the same thing. Like Steam, Microsoft, Nintendo, they all have their own BS terms of agreements. This is just another one that people just go, oh yeah, okay, yada yada. Yeah. No offense, but it's all over the place.
No, I agree 100% with you. I don't think they're as bad as this, but this is brand new. The other companies or whatever haven't had a chance to revise any kind of terms, and I'm sure they're going to be very similar, if not worse. Who knows? But that's the problem. Like, no one's talking about this. It's like a non-issue. But this is what gaming is going to become. This is going to be commonplace. Like, that's just, there's no protection for the consumer at all. Like, they even say, like, what a fucked up thing to sell an item to a consumer and just be like, no warranty. That's fucking absurd. No protection whatsoever. On top of all the other shit, fucking games getting discontinued and disappearing and networks shutting down and all that. In addition to that, no warranty. Fuck off. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. And like, if a company did that with a physical product, you would still at least be covered through the store that you're buying the thing from. You know, if you buy it and it doesn't work or you get the wrong thing, you take it back to the store you bought it from and you get an exchange and it's fine, right? Because that's normal. But there's going to be a new normal. You won't be able to do that. And then, therefore, the company, Sony in this case, has the control. They dictate what that refund looks like, if there is a refund or an exchange whatsoever. And according to these terms, there's going to be nothing. They don't owe you anything. Defective, wrong, whatever, deleted, it's just tough shit. That's what this says. It's fucking bullshit. There you go. I'm fucking tired of shit. Video gaming in video gaming in 2021 plus. It's gonna be a shit show, everybody. Fucking strap in. I really hope that people educate themselves because shit's gonna get real fucking gross.
You're talking
real
about
quick.
people who like are not helping during a world pandemic. They're not gonna help anything. They're just gonna
And you know
go
what I
within-
say to that? All the people that get fucked over by this shit fucking deserve it. And I hope you get zero sympathy because you fucking deserve everything that you get by fucking doing that. Like, not educating yourself, supporting this shitty fucking system and state that video games are in without asking any questions. Like, if you get fucked over by this, good.
Like I don't follow it, but if shit goes down, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have read the terms and condition. I don't care.
Yeah, and that's fine too. Like, if you don't care and you're just okay with throwing away your money or whatever that means to you, fine. Like, that's okay. You're entitled to do so. But there's a lot of people that just don't get it, that, or kids, you know, that think they're getting this huge collection or whatever. Like, even like Cody. You know, Cody talks about his digital collection like I talk about my physical collection. But, like, you don't own any of that. That shit could disappear tomorrow, especially if Microsoft updates their terms to what Sony is. They could take all that shit away from you tomorrow, and you couldn't say a goddamn thing about it. Like, there is no ownership. There is no pride or collection or whatever the fuck that looks like. That's all gone. Like, video games are a service only, a temporary service at that. You're going to have your shit for however they want you to have it, and that's it. They don't owe you shit. There's no warranty. There's no guarantees. Nothing. They could make it, with the existing terms, they can make it so that if your console dies and you have to get a new console, everything that you bought, you've got to rebuy. They could do that with these terms. That's fucking bullshit. What if you're like Cody and you got 300 games on your system and that shit crashes or whatever and they don't owe you anything? Time to start buying those games again. What?
He would be fucked.
Yeah, like, how can you do that to your consumer? That's so fucking bullshit. That is such a fucked up thing to do. And if you're going to do something that fucked up, you should at least tell the goddamn people that are spending money on your shit that that's how it is, so that they can make an educated decision to buy it or not. Anyways. Okay, done. Let's get the fuck out of this.
You sure you don't want to go on for another
This has
50
been
minutes?
episode
Go for an encore.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, the people that watch the broadcast regularly, they know what's going on because you keep saying it every fucking broadcast.
Good. They need to know.
Right, that's enough of your fucking bullshit. Right. Lee, let's talk about weeks, but Lee, let's talk about what's been going on with you since you've been last here.
I've been surviving.
Good.
What is this? We're doing a music video or something?
We're
Hey,
swimming.
we're swimming now.
Oh, okay. I haven't been doing any of that. But aside from surviving and using a lot of different varieties of tape and cardboard boxes and playing games, I've more or less just been doing what I do.
What have you been playing?
I completed or 100%ed Lego Harry Potter collection. That's years 1 to 4 and 5 to 7 on the Xbox One.
Hmm?
I I've started playing Alice Madness Returns.
Yes.
I'm playing. Thank
game
you.
is so
Yeah, it's technically not all there. It's a lot. It's quite rough. It's enjoyable, but it's very rough.
I'll give you that. It's a good
She
game.
said.
Wow.
I've been playing Tell Me Why.
Ain't nothing but.
Don't Nod's game on the Xbox Studio service.
Yep.
And I've been playing Forza Horizon 4.
So, tell us about what's Tell Me Why like, to you.
I don't want to give too much details in case of spoilers.
Yeah.
But it's sort of like a story-driven game between two main characters and how they interact with people and how they rediscover what they thought happened in reality is another way, and they have to deal with that in a certain way. Going to different locations, talking to people they associate with. I can't go into much more detail because I don't want to ruin the experience for them. Because, I mean, if you're, say, like you played Life is Strange, it's that kind of like narrative-driven game. It's not got a lot of action to it. It's just more like you're sitting down, you're relaxed, you're engaged. You're just going to see how these characters play out, as it were, and whether you get what's the word? Attached to that. God damn it, I'm short of words. If you find that appealing, it's your kind of game.
Yeah. So, do you find it appealing?
I like the calm and collective game every now and again. Yeah. So yeah, I like it. If it came out physically, I would get it physically just so I can.
Don't start him off. Do not start him off.
Now, this is me personally. I'd like to collect games that I like. So even if I don't play it because I have it digitally because that's where it is, I have that. But if I want to, say like the game went offline, you couldn't play it online again, I still have that to look back onto. So, I have the best of both worlds, as it were. And I'm supporting the company that made the game so they can make more games.
Sure, that's one way to look at it. Sure.
Hey, if we were in a different world, like back in the day, in like PS3 360 days, I like the idea of buying a physical disc and putting it on the shelf and not touching it, just leaving it sealed for my collection, and then buying a digital version that I could just have easy access to and play whenever. I don't have to put a disc in, don't have to break into my collectible version of it. I like that idea. That could have been really great, but the path that we went on is just not the way it should have gone. It's not good for anybody. But yeah.
I'll just pose the question. Lee, now you have a PS4, you kind of gather your opinion on the PS4 that you don't like the controller. Fair enough. Have you played Daymare?
Not yet.
Yes. Right, next time we have you on, we want you to play it.
I'll get to play it soon. Well, maybe.
If I remember it, I could have plans going into one day, and then I go past that day and think and do something completely different, and don't think about what I was initially planned to do until the following day. If it doesn't grab my attention, then I'm going to do something that does. And right now, it's playing the Xbox One.
Okay. Right, show and tell segment. So, Lee, what have you got to show and tell us?
I brought along my friend Sparky.
Woof.
Indeed, woofy woofy woof.
Doggo.
I've had. It's the dog, yeah. I've had Sparky since I don't know. Back when we were still living in Kent,
Yeah.
and me and Alec, we had a lot of fun with our plush toys and all that. Thinking of imaginative things, having Sparky fall off the hotel balcony into a pool of drills as a morning ritual.
Yep.
It was
Good times.
it was weird.
So, what's the story? I know the story, but what's the story for everyone else? Why is Sparky there?
Because you haven't killed it yet.
Now, how did you get Sparky?
Okay, so it was a Christmas present.
Mhm.
Apparently, Alec saw it in a Toys R Us store, I think.
Toys R Us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and-
Toys R Us.
And he saw it and thought, that looked good. And he was with our parents at the time, and they got it, they wrapped it up, and he's been regretting that ever since. Because Sparky makes his life a living hell every time he comes here or they meet.
So a little story. Me and Lee would play wrestling games an awful lot, and we'd create our own. Since we were young, we'd have our own Pikachu, Sparky, everything else we can think of. We would make them onto the creator wrestlers and the wrestling games, and that fucking dog will fucking mess me up every fucking time. So,
I mean, it has to be done.
yeah, I hate Sparky. Sparky can suck a dick.
Wow, that's animal cruelty. You should scan him into WWE 2K19, and then I can kick his ass as me. That'd be great. Because Alec got rid of that game, so I'm all by myself.
You didn't play it.
And Jazz refused to do it. / she's a girl, so she's not allowed.
In truth, I wouldn't play the WWE games.
In 2019, I guess you can't, the male characters and the female characters can't interact or whatever.
There's ways to work around it.
Oh.
Yeah, just make a male character and name it Abby.
Wow.
Because arms. You should, but then I bet you the dog's gonna kick your ass, Sean.
Probably.
The thing is, by the time it's now 2K Battlegrounds is out, now it's just 19 servers are probably going to go down.
Another wonderful thing about online gaming.
Shut up. That's enough of that. Right. Lee, is that it? Anything else you wanted to add?
That'd be all for now.
Okay. Let's go to Captain Moan a lot. Sean, how was your week?
Hey, wow.
How'd you get that nickname?
First of all, wow. Wow. What did I do? I watched some New Girl. I watched Friday the 13th 1 and 2. And The Good Place. So that's what I've been watching. Friday the 13th, though. It's been a long time since I've seen some of those movies, so it's really cool to go back and revisit those. And more about that later. Been playing the typical fucking PUBG and Tekken. They're still both garbage, but I'm enjoying them. That is until I found out about the Battle Pass bullshit that I fucking shamefully purchased. But apparently it has a goddamn time limit. And when I signed in, yesterday, I think, it's like, hey, you have 12 days until your Battle Pass expires. And I'm like, what? I'm a quarter of the way into the goddamn Battle Pass, and it's just going to go away in 12 fucking days? Are you shitting me? So again, clarity is crucial. I should have known that this shit expires in, 3 weeks?
It's by the season, apparently. I didn't know either.
But
so when they start a new season, everything's going to reset,
right?
including the pass.
So why not, when you click purchase, it's like, hey, this expires in 3 weeks. Are you sure? Is that so hard? Like, what the fuck? I would have, if I had known that, I wouldn't have bought the goddamn thing. I would have waited to the next season so I could get all the goddamn content. Fucking basic shit that they don't do. And it's fucking, and I guarantee you they do this shit. They do this shit on purpose because, like, most dipshits are just going to be like, oh, well, that sucks. Well, now I know for next time I'll buy the next one. But for me, like, I didn't want to buy the first one. And I did it anyways because, you know, I figured, hey, I'm playing the game, you know, a lot. It makes sense. I got it for free, whatever. But, again, I would have waited to get more value out of my purchase had I known. But nobody fucking told me. Anyways, I shouldn't have bought that goddamn thing. Yeah. What else did I play? I think it was just the two. Just that, PUBG and Tekken. And fucking Tekken. Another online game.
Why are you
Why you
playing
do it
that
to
still?
yourself?
The only reason I play Tekken, I mean, it's actually a fun... It has potential to be fun. And it's Capcom shit. It's got Resident Evil stuff in it. So I feel sort of obligated a little bit. But anyways... So, they added more fucking super overpowered cards. There's cards that they added that are so fucking strong that, like, if they play it, if they're able to play that card, you lose. Like, there's a 90% chance, unless you're super prepared for it, which it's almost impossible to be, you're just going to lose. And guess how you get that card? Card packs. How do you get card packs? You throw money at the game through microtransactions. So, it's fucking pay to win. So they ruin the game with fucking microtransaction bullshit and pay to win. And I hate it. Because, like, it could be a good game, it could be fun, but things like that just fucking ruin it. Why ruin the game? It's fine. Yeah, that's all I played. Yeah. Ta-da. Show and tell. Oh, wait. I have some good news. Believe it or not. Fuck! What? On a brighter note, I know what I'm going to be doing for my Halloween machinimas. I have 3 planned. I'm not going to announce what they are, but they're going to be a surprise. I'm going to try to do them all next week. They're not super elaborate, so I should be able to pull that off. I also started a Survive This Let's Play for an older survival horror game. I kind of mentioned it before, but I won't say until it comes out as well. Yeah, and then I have a special collaboration thing that I'm doing with another Resident Evil, I guess they're a podcast group. I think they do other stuff too, like streams and stuff. But anyways, doing a Halloween video with them. And I'm actually going to talk to you guys about that later too, because if you guys want to do it too, you can. And it's pretty easy. Should be a quick thing to do, but just a cool idea that somebody posted on Twitter, and I thought it'd be fun to participate. So I'm going to be doing that as well. So Halloween content, we're going to do some Halloween-y stuff today, and then from here going forward, you should start to see more Halloween themed content. There you go. Good news, updates. Ta-da!
Halloweenus.
Halloweener. And then my show and tell.
It's your ass.
There it is, my ass. I was talking about Friday the 13th before, so this just came out. It's fucking awesome. It's a box set of the entire franchise.
Jesus.
And it's so cool. And it's funny, I just realized when I got this, there's 13 movies. That's awesome. It's Friday the 13th, and there's 13 of them. It's neat. But yeah, it's cool. They're all like individual, like they each have a case and stuff like that. There's a art book here, and there's like 2 discs of like new shit because they just released it, so they re-released a lot of these. That doesn't want to come out, but it's fine. But yeah, it's really cool. And it came with some posters that are really fucking awesome. Oh, if I can get it. Murder. Like if you've seen the movies, like that's like super duper iconic scene, and the artwork's really cool. And then the other poster is just kind of the box art. But it's really cool box art. It's got like all the Jasons from the entire franchise. It's really cool. It's so big.
All the Jasons.
All the Jay-Shawns. But yeah, it's fucking amazing. I love it. Like I mentioned, I'm a super Friday the 13th nerd or whatever. But yeah.
Well, you are a nerd.
Wow, that's true.
Friday the Nerd-teenth.
Friday the Nerd-teenth. But yeah, I was like heartbroken because a while back they released a tin that had like all the Friday the 13th movies, and I wasn't able to get it, and it ended up selling for like $300, and I wasn't gonna fucking spend that because that's insane. So I've been waiting for them to release a new box set, and they finally did it, and it's amazing, and I love it. And since this is part of Friday the 13th as well, this is the collector's edition of the PS4 game. It's got a wearable Jason mask, which is fucking super cool. And and like we were talking about earlier, I didn't have to open it because I downloaded it for free on PSN. So I have a digital version that I can play. My collector's edition can stay sealed. It's great. It's good for everybody. Fun times. Sometimes digital.
Yay, digital!
Sometimes digital can work, but 90% of the time, no. Ta-da!
Ta-da!
That's it.
Cheers!
I've done it.
Done it. Hello.
How was your week?
It was popo.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Hi.
I was sick most of the week, so I missed a lot of work, so that was cool. Not being sick, but not working is cool. And work is just poo, so I'm not gonna get into it. And then as I've told you guys, Ottawa, where I live, is now back in phase 2, so we can't really do much for Thanksgiving, and we can't do anything. Like, it's just a matter of time before they close restaurants and shit. But yeah, they whatever, because I don't want to go anywhere anyway. So, can you close my work so I can stay home?
Can you shut down the world, please? Because I don't
Right?
want it.
I was in the middle of a list of machinima stuff to do, like during the quarantine, and then fuckers reopen in June. So I gotta get back to that. Come on. And then I don't remember if I mentioned it last week or this week, but I watched all of this series called Fleabag that Jill told me I should watch. It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Amazon Prime, so you guys should watch it. Lots of British humor. And then I watched The Widow.
I hate that.
Stop it. I
know.
watched The Widow.
Racist.
It's a series with Kate Beckinsale, also on Amazon Prime, and she's a widow. Yeah, it's good too. It's good. Watch it. And then I'm watching Bones again. Bones. It's funny that you mentioned New Girl because I'm watching Bones. So.
Did someone say bones?
Bones.
Sparky wants bones.
I know I've already watched up to like season 5 or something on Netflix, and then they took it off Netflix, so it was kind of, I didn't get to watch it, and I've been wanting to rewatch it. And then Amazon Prime was like, "Hey, Bones," and I was like, "Yeah."
He's got a boner for Bones.
Bones. It's a good show.
You get yourself a nice boner.
Then we've been playing a lot of PUBG with all kinds of people, you people, other people. We made a new friend from Georgia.
What do you mean,
he
you
was pretty
people?
Cool.
Yeah.
People.
Who's from Georgia?
You. This guy that we made a new friend on the game. He's from Georgia, and we were just like, we were laughing so much during the game. He was like, "Add me," so we added him, and then we played a game with him, and we just basically like spent an hour crashing bikes. It was great. And other than that, this week I've started reading books because I have too many books I have to start reading. So right now I'm reading The Martian. I've seen the movie, but I'm reading the book to see, and it's actually really entertaining. He swears so much. Now it's like making potatoes with poo. So I don't know if you've seen the movie, but Matt Damon grows potatoes with poo. So potatoes.
Potatoes.
And that was pretty much. I feel like I did stuff this week, but I can't remember. Oh, I also have a few ideas for machinima stuff with Halloween. Hopefully I'll get to actually get around to do that.
Ooh.
Halloweenus.
The good thing about changes at work is because there's like people quitting left and right, and changes in the schedule been made. So I'm gonna be off at 1 o'clock on Tuesdays. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I get to come home and not work. Haha.
Mhm.
That's my week. And then again, I find it funny that you said you were watching New Girl and I'm watching Bones because they're sisters, and then you showed your Jason goalie mask thing just now, which was pretty cool. And my show and tell is my goalie mask.
Yeah,
It's
nice.
like working. I just
Yeah.
wanted to bring this because so when I started playing goalie like years ago, a couple of years ago, I saw this at the store. It's like zombies. It's got teeth. Yeah. And I said I'm gonna buy that for myself one day, and then I did as my own birthday present. And I just think it's cool because like it still has like goalie mask stuff, but the eyes are like bleeding through it. I put stickers on it with my name, and it's more important to me because on the back I put stickers to put this because I say that a lot. I'm always like, "This is my jam." It's not unique, but it's like made it mine because you can't really see, but inside there's like hair dye from all the times I dye my hair and then like sweat when I play hockey.
Is it hair dye or ketchup?
It's probably blood with all the concussions. There's actually like dents a little bit all over from all the times I've been hit in the face. But on the back, I wrote, so like I used to play hockey and talk about it with my grandma, and when she passed away I wrote this because like I keep playing because I knew she liked when I played. And then my uncle passed away of cancer, and I wrote that I played for him, and I'm never gonna get rid of it because of that. I made it myself. I didn't make it myself, but I made it my own. And
Way to make mine look shitty.
no,
I'm just
I
kidding.
can't even. I don't know if it picks it up, but there's a little scuff right here. This little black mark here.
Mhm.
That's when the puck hit me so hard that I lost my hearing in this ear for 2 weeks.
Jesus.
It's a
Holy
memory.
fuck.
It's a memory. And the girl's like, I didn't even hit you that hard. But yeah,
Wow.
that's my show and tell.
I like that you and Lee have this like warm, heartfelt like show and tell, and I'm just like, look at my Friday the 13th shit.
It's my shit.
I lied.
Mine.
My show and tell is ketchup Doritos.
Oh, that's
I
much
lied.
better. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yep. That's me. That's me. I think we're done.
We're done here.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we
Go
are.
again, Sean.
So my
Alec.
let me
Yes.
talk to you about the terms and service of
This
Sony-
podcast.
Of this, yeah.
As soon as you stop listening, we show up and kill you.
Should have read the goddamn fine print.
Yeah, that we didn't write. Alec, how the fuck was your fucking week, fucker?
Well, I actually finally beat Devil May Cry 5.
And you hated it, right?
No. However,
However.
There it is. However,
without giving spoilers, all I can say is fan service.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I don't know that it's really fan service. It feels more like they just gave the fans what they
Service.
should have got. Like that's what we needed. But like sometimes there's differences though. There's like fan service that doesn't really go anywhere. It's just like, hey fans, look at this. This is for you. But like they did the thing. They took it the way that it needed to go that the fans wanted. Something that they should do for Resident Evil maybe. But yes, good shit. I thought it was fucking great. I thought it was the Devil May Cry that we fucking needed and deserved.
The only thing is, I just kind of felt like it kind of eradicated some of the tones that were in the previous games, and it's just like, oh, okay. Yeah, alright. But whatever. It's fine.
I mean, it's always been goofy.
Yeah, I like the goofiness, it's fine. It's just when you take a part of the story of the original, or the first game, and then you twist it, and especially 3, and you twist it again, you think, okay.
They had to do something, though. I mean, they weren't going to do a DMC Devil May Cry.
Oh God.
It's not a bad game. or they weren't going to do a Devil May Cry 2 either. Those are sort of like the opposites of what you want from a Devil May Cry game. You want something that's competently made and it appeals to those who stuck with the series. So those moments that you call fan service, those are going to be the moments that ring the most to the fans, and they're going to go, hell yeah, and all that sort of stuff. This is the kind of game I want.
Yeah, and that was the other thing. I was a bit disappointed how they just kind of moonlighted over DMC2, and I was just like,
You know
okay.
why?
I don't care, you know, how reception it got for DMC2. If it's got DMC2 had a story, fucking go with it.
There is, I think, there's some like a reading.
Yeah,
material.
there was I read it, and I'm just like, okay.
I mean, I guess that's better than nothing.
I think
I mean,
I'd rather have nothing.
They could have just erased over Devil May Cry 2 and said, oh, no, that never happened. You show us a picture of it and say, no, that's not real. That you made that up. You know, at least it's something of an acknowledgement.
I think,
even if it's not quite, go on.
I think the only way that they could have done better and maybe fixed things is if they had remade 2 first and then did 5. But like that's not really like that doesn't make sense. That would have been a much larger, longer, expensive endeavor for them to do because you can't just remake 2. You'd have to remake 1 and 2, and then people would want 3. So like they would have to commit a lot harder than they did. So, and that didn't really make sense, I feel, because like they probably lost a lot of their fan base with DMC. People were kind of iffy on Devil May Cry at that point. So it made more sense to do what they did. And I feel like they handled it like one of the better ways that they could do it, honestly. It was good. I'm happy with it.
Happy.
It wasn't perfect.
Anyway,
it was good.
Yeah. Anyway, I also played Death Stranding. Yeah, it's fine.
God damn it.
Honestly, now I'm thinking about it, I'm just like, okay, now I beat it. I'm just like, do I want to keep it? Not really.
Ouch.
What does Alex think?
He didn't. He's not really got into DMC, to be honest. So I can understand why. But yeah. Anyway, I also played Death Stranding again, just to gather footage for a kind of machinima kind of thing. But annoyingly, when I was playing it, I was recording it through the PS4, right? The PS4 Pro. And so when I put all the footage I gathered onto the USB stick onto the computer, to copy it and put it onto the computer, I noticed like there's the same with Fall Guys footage, that some of the video files just wouldn't open, and I tried to pull it through the video editor software that I got on the PC, and it wouldn't open there, and I'm just like, So I'm just like, I think maybe it's the settings on the PS4 Pro. I'm just like, whether the HDR is too complicated for, well, it's possibly too complicated for my PC, but I'm just like, that's kind of throwing a bit of a spanner into the works a little bit. So I'm going to have to go back and fiddle with that. So we shall see. Yeah. Other than that, show and tell. So, this one is 30 Seconds to Mars, a scarf. So I got this primarily for one of our brother's girlfriends at the time, because she was into 30 Seconds to Mars and all the other metal things you can think of. And I was like, okay, this will be perfect for her. And of course, because me and Lee, and we tend to buy our Christmas presents early, because we have a big family, and we're just like, right, okay, get fucking early, get it done. And then they broke up, and it's just like, what am I going to do with this now? So then I actually started listening to 30 Seconds to Mars, and it's like, yeah, it's good. You know, Oblivion, and I can't think of the other song. So what was Star's theme tune?
Capricorn, I think it was.
Yeah.
Surf
Oh no, that
and
was
Roll.
Nax. That was Nax.
Night of
But,
the Hunters. Good one.
Yeah, but yeah, there's other ones and all that, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna keep it myself. So yeah, you broke up with my brother. I'm gonna keep it myself, bitch. So yeah, that's my show and tell.
am finished with you.
It's not a too deep a personal one. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a fuck you. I'm
At least-
keeping this.
yeah, it's
At
a
least
fuck
you-
you.
At least you can wear it. At least
Yeah.
you can wear it, unlike Sean's hockey mask.
Haha.
I mean, I could wear it,
Yeah,
but I won't.
I can wear mine.
Wow, how dare you?
okay,
Meh.
right.
Meh.
So, Lee, do you know what time it is?
Time to get off this broadcast.
Meh.
Wow.
No, it is
Oh.
time for some news.
Beep.
Beep. Okay, so I've got 4 news articles. I don't know what the others have got, if anything. So, first bit of news. Sony has changed PlayStation trophies ready for PlayStation 5. Now, when I go through the terms and agreement of these, fuck you.
Wow.
Sorry, I've got a cough. Basically, all they've done is they've taken everyone's gamer scores. I don't know, maybe not every PS4 user has noticed, but as of, I think it was the 8th of this month, that they took everyone's gamer scores and then they gone from 1 to 100 and they gone into 1 to 999. And some gamers are already up to 999. I'm currently at 316. So what does this mean to all of us?
Nothing.
Nothing, exactly.
Oh.
It's just like changed the scoring system a little bit. That's it.
Nothing.
Whoa.
Nothing. But yeah,
Yeah, that
at
hasn't.
least
The change hasn't happened for me yet.
I think you should double check.
I played this morning and it was the same.
Possibly not looking at the same thing, but okay. I know that. A lot of things should be.
Looking at my trophies.
I'll point it out to you in post, but yeah.
Okay.
Second bit of news.
Alec.
Yeah, what?
On the subject of trophies, you forgot to mention yours that you were going to say. You were excited about a trophy today?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Right, going back to my week, I played PUBG with Jazz earlier today. This is why I forgot. I was after getting the trophy for killing someone with a frying pan.
Yeah, you got
And I
it.
got it! Yes! What was the thing? I think someone was coming to
We were
kill
hiding in
Jazz,
the closet. We were hiding in
Yeah.
the closet, yeah.
and I accidentally shot Jazz with my shotgun.
Accidentally. He Elena-'d me. Like,
Elena.
he was like, watch out behind you.
I was like, Jazz is already down, but I'm just like, she's still alive, and I'm just like, right, well, I'm gonna go hit this guy with a frying pan.
Just left me there.
Yeah,
Priorities.
yeah, priorities.
You got the trophy, I approve.
Yeah,
Worth
and
it.
yeah. Go back to the second bit of news. Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate will be getting 3 new characters on the PS4 and PS5 from November 19th. Any guesses who the characters are without
Leon.
Sean?
Claire. Obama.
Wesker. Dr. Phil.
That would be amazing.
Lee, any guesses? What's the DLC characters?
I know all three of them, so I won't say anything. Just
Okay.
I know one's Rambo.
Hitler.
Yeah. Okay, so... Sorry.
Corona.
Yeah,
Corona.
I hope so. Right,
No!
so... Look, if it's good enough for Trump, yeah, it's fine. So yeah, the DLC characters are going to be Rain, Melina, and Rambo.
Melina.
Yeah. I believe Rain and Melina have been on Mortal Kombat before. I'm not familiar with MKs, so...
I think
they showed up in Mortal Kombat 10 or X, and Melina was a playable character in the reboot, i.e. 9.
Yeah, I think they both, like, their first appearance was in the same game, but I can't remember which one. I want to say maybe it was Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate, maybe. But, like, they've been around for a long time. I don't know why the hell it took them this long to fucking bring them back, but alright. Instead, we need fucking Alien and Predator and Terminator.
Yeah. The other bit of that bit is so Rambo's actually going to be voiced by Sylvester Stallone, obviously the person
That's cool.
who plays him in the film. So good, especially if you like Rambo. Then, yeah, go for it. But if you don't like Rambo,
you can kill him.
If you don't, yeah, perfect, win-win. So yeah, Mortal Kombat. So
they should start putting like really annoying people in there. So just so that you can do fatalities on them, like celebrities and wow.
Chris.
If I may, just add that I'm looking at the game app on my phone, and they have like a pre-order listing for Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. I'm not sure if you can see it on here, but basically that's about, I don't know how much officially, but over £100 like. Collector's edition, and I'm just thinking when the game first released, they had the Scorpion Mask edition, and that was perhaps over £100 as is. So for that diehard fan or fans of Mortal Kombat 11 who went out and bought that initial set, they'd want to get this, but they're paying about over £200 just to get everything on the game. Surely at this point, given that the game is over a year old now, they just should make it all available in one go on the PS5 or Series X, whatever version this Ultimate is, and not charge more for just a fancy box and Sub-Zero mask. It's kind of...
Okay, so I was going to go into this. So for Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate owners, they can get the DLC... for nothing. So they can get the characters for nothing. But if you just have the standard MK11, you can download it, but you have to pay for the DLC. So, yeah.
I'm just thinking in, like, say it was like a brand new Resident Evil. If I was thinking of, in Shaun, for example, if they came out with say like Resident Evil 7, they had the... They had that collector's edition with the house and all that, and then because they did a later version where it had all the additional episodes and difficulty modes on it. If they did another collector's edition, then the nutter that we know as Shaun will want both, and that will cost a lot of money to do that. This kind of just rubs me the wrong way, because the Mortal Kombat fan would want both this Scorpion edition and the Sub-Zero one. That costs more money.
And once upon a time, like, it wouldn't have been unreasonable to think, hey, they're going to release an Ultimate edition with a mask and everything, or whatever the fuck, some kind of collectible, and it would have all the DLC. $150 or something, whatever. It's expensive, but guess what? You get a cool collectible, you get all the DLC, fine. But instead, there's 2 collector's editions, neither of which have all the DLC. And how much does the DLC cost? I've heard for fucking Mortal Kombat, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of $900. What? That's why.
For all the outfits and all that, you know.
Yeah, for all the outfits, the characters, the costumes, everything. Like $900. Like, it's fucking absurd. I'm not going to get into it. It's just...
That's almost
It just fucking drives me insane. Because before trophies and all that fucking... It's like we swapped. They're like, well, if we give them trophies, they can earn those, and then we can charge for all the extra shit. But, like, before trophies and achievements were a thing, the things that you unlocked and earned were the goddamn costumes and the characters and the extra in-game shit that they now charge for. Like, that's a way better reward than a digital fucking trophy. But like, I like trophies. You could do both. Why not have your trophies correlate with a character or a costume or something? That would make them feel more rewarding. Like, people complain about, trophies aren't, like, there's no point to them. If you gave us something, a lot of people talk about, oh, give us money or whatever, turn in your trophies for currency, which would be cool, but they don't even have to do that. Tie them to rewards in the game. Give us characters and costumes. That would be great. It's a double win. You're validating the trophies, giving them a purpose, and you're giving us the content that we want. Like I've mentioned before, just charge more for the game. Let us unlock the content. Nobody likes to have to spend additional money for more fucking content. Like, it dilutes it. There's no reward. There's no, like, you're taking away the excitement for a character. Before it's like, oh, I unlocked this new character. Awesome. I get to try him out and stuff like that. Like, it's the whole process is fun and rewarding. Where you got to throw money at it and to get a character, it's just like, well, I paid for this. I guess it's fine. Like, it doesn't really, it's not exciting. It's not rewarding. It's not fun. Games are supposed to be fun for the most part, unless it's like, Resident Evil 8 or, Bloodborne or something where it's supposed to be challenging. But, like, I just don't understand how that whole thing got lost. And now we're looking at games that cost $900 for just the DLC, not even you don't even get the collector's edition or the game. That's just pure downloadable content that will just eventually not even fucking exist. That's so gross. And they add up, right? It's not like, oh, this one game did that. It's like every fighting game is like that. Don't roll your eyes at me, you fucker. But yeah,
I just remembered you saying you weren't going to go into it, and you're going into it.
Yeah, we kind of went off topic. Sorry.
That's fine. I'm done.
Are you?
No.
Right. Third article. Square Enix says Final Fantasy 16 has completed basic development and scenario production. Square Enix recruitment page reports that the company is seeking the final staff to join the FF16 team. The page reports that we have already completed basic development, scenario production, and continue to create large-scale resources and build boss battles, while expanding our various development tools. Basic development isn't a hugely specific term, and the recruitment page is also asked for those who can work on the level design. The good thing is that those that that get recruited to do these things can work from home, so that's cool for them. That's also nice. The new game has been set to come out as a medieval fantasy setting, so I'm tuned out. But for others, that's great. It is being produced by Naoki Yoshida, who led the popular relaunch of Final Fantasy XIV. No release date has been set for the game, but we are due to learn more about it in 2021. So keep your eyes peeled for that one if you're interested. I know. Fourth news! Who wants another Battle Royale style game? Anyone?
Sparky.
What you do? Well, Team 17 have got your back with a new Worms game called Worms Rumble. Ready for Christmas stockings. Isn't that nice, everyone? Yay!
The Worms games are actually more entertaining than just like a battle royale, though, because it's just so stupid.
Well, yeah, a new trailer for Worms Rumble has come out and it is available on YouTube, but also on the Ward Community Discord. So look for it there. Join us there. Bug.
Do it.
Join us.
So the upcoming real-time Worms spin-off has arrived, and it's a bit talking about gaming section. The trailer doesn't just contain new footage, though. It also announces a better date and a release window. And Rumble will be available for PS5, PS4, and PC in December 2020. The game, which features 32 players in Battle Royal matches and Team Deathmatch mode, which we all pretty much know, will be playable on PS4 and PC, yada yada yada. Yeah, I'm just repeating myself now. So it's in the style of Worms WND style artwork rather than anything else. Yeah. If you want something a bit different, maybe go get a different game. But if you like Worms, go for it.
If you want to try something different, don't get this.
If you want to try something new and innovative, stay away.
Right, has anyone else got any new littles? I see your hand. You may speak.
It's not bad. Well, originally the terms of service update was going to be here, but I figured that was relevant to my fucking fury. So, but yeah, so the Witcher 3 is being upgraded for next gen, which is cool. You know, it's good if you're getting a next gen system. But why this is notable and is actually fucking good is CD Projekt Red, the developer, they're including the upgrade. So they're basically doing a next gen version of it for the new consoles, but they're also doing a free upgrade for everybody that purchased it before. So this is like a 5 or 6 year old game. So they're allowing those people that bought it way back when, if you still have your game, you get a free upgrade. Like, that's really cool. They didn't have to do that. You know, it's old enough that they could have just justified a re-release. That's what every fucking buddy else is doing anyway for games that came out last year even. So the fact that they're doing this for an older game is really cool. And they've just always been a really good company with that kind of shit. Like when they released The Witcher 3, like not only was there a thank you note in every copy of the game, just thanking the people for buying the game and supporting it, but, you know, they made a promise to the consumer that, hey, all the DLC, all the cosmetic stuff that we release is going to be free. And like even the smaller DLC, everything's going to be free. The only thing that they were going to charge for is the big justifiable DLC, like the stuff that's big enough basically to be a game on its own. And they stayed true to that. You know, they did 2 DLCs that were massive and they charged for those, which I get. I don't like DLC, of course, shocker. So I don't like that. But the fact that they were upfront about it, and they gave the smaller DLC to the consumer rather than nickel and diming you over fucking costumes and little missions. They just gave it to you because they appreciate the fans, and that's how it should be. And they had the communication point. So like, that's cool. That's how developers should be. And everybody loves that developer and are dedicated to them. Every time they announce a new game, people are excited and committed because they're great. You know, they make good content. They're upfront. They care about the consumer, all good things. Like people should follow that example. Like they're a great developer. But yeah, that's cool. So they're putting ray tracing and all the next gen bullshit, faster loading and all that good stuff for the next gen version. So if you haven't played Witcher 3 and you like medieval stuff, unlike Alec, it's definitely going to be something to pick up.
If you like games.
If you like video games.
Alec.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Sean doesn't like video games anymore.
I don't like
That's
new
true.
ones. I don't like the format. I don't like the landscape. Okay, I don't like the foundation, so it's hard to like anything above it.
If you
But I
said
try, goddammit.
you have an obligation to play Teppen because it has Capcom content, Does that mean you're gonna have an obligation to play Village?
No,
Because
because
Capcom content.
2 reasons. One, it's available on a platform I own, my phone, and it's free. So it's different. And I
Or
can already
somebody,
tell you
like-
that Teppen is better than Resident Evil Village anyway, so.
What if somebody sends you a PS5 with like Village?
Well, I've already said that if it comes out on current gen, I will play the goddamn thing. So yes, if that were to happen, I would play it as well. So like if I have the means to play it, I will play it because it does deserve, if I'm able to play it, it deserves me giving it a shot. But I'm not going to spend fucking $500 on a system and support a game that I don't believe in by buying it just to give it the benefit of the doubt. Like, fuck that. Like, I already know it's going to be garbage, so. But if I'm able to give it a shot, I will. But yeah, so The Witcher. And then they confirmed the cast for the new Resident Evil movie franchise. And there's some pros and cons there. And we're going to have a game about it later. Spoiler alert. But anyways.
Are we hanging ourselves?
See who can do it the
I hope
quickest.
so.
I have a belt right here.
I'm gonna hang myself with my dick.
Wow.
When you go all the way around.
So, Kaya Scodelario as Claire Redfield. Hannah John Kamen as Jill Valentine. Robbie Amell as Chris Redfield. Tom Hopper as Albert Wesker.
Hannah what?
Avon Joja as Leon S. Kennedy. And Neil McDonough as William Birkin. I feel like Chris is great. Claire's like decent. It's weird. Some of the pictures that I see, like some of them I'm like, okay, yeah, I could see that, and others I'm just like, oh god, no, that doesn't work at all. So I don't know. I feel like Chris is the only surefire, like accurate casting. He's a good choice. Everybody else is either a miss or like maybe. But we'll talk about that later. At least they're confirming that, we're actually going to have Resident Evil characters in the movie, so that's a thing. Didn't work out so great last time, but at least they're going to be there from the ground up. They're going to be in the first movie. Story's going to be about them, theoretically, it seems. So there's a little bit of hope there, even if the casting is not ideal.
This is the Netflix thing?
No, this
No.
is the movie reboot. So I think they confirmed to do another 3+ movies. So there's a
The name
new.
you said for
I butchered the shit out of those names. I apologize.
no, the name you
apologize.
said for Jill sounds familiar.
Oh really?
Yeah.
The only ones I know the guy that's playing Wesker. He's in Umbrella Academy.
Oh,
Um,
I've actually talked about this on the podcast before.
yeah, Robbie Amell, the guy that's going to be Chris. He's in that Upload show on Amazon that I told you about. I talked
Oh.
about on the podcast.
Yeah.
And some other stuff. Wow! Did you not like that? I like that show. Yeah.
Hannah whatever is the ghost in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I haven't seen
I remember
it.
when they first rumored the movie reboot, they had her like as the maybe Jill, and it's actually her. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
That is my news, I think. Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's move on to survival horror. Okay,
You didn't
in
do
this
the
section,
fingers. Wow.
Okay, in this section, I wanted to go over some plot holes
Plot holes?
in the Resident Evil games and discuss how to resolve these issues. So, I'll give you an example. Zombie bite. When we play as Resident Evil characters in Resident Evil games, or zombie games in general, I can't see it, Lee, because I'm looking at the document.
Maybe.
We are under the context that we are under the context of once a person gets bitten, they turn, right? Eventually, they turn. So, do you think it's possible that Leon, Claire, Billy, Rebecca, Chris, Jill, just never got bit by one of these monsters or zombies? Or, explain, why do you think they haven't turned yet?
It's really unbelievable that not one single fucking character has ever contracted the virus except Jill through tentacle.
Through tentacle
and then
porn.
within a couple days she was dying, and then these guys are just like, we survived.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
Blood
technically,
too, right?
in the Resident Evil universe, there is a vaccine, but they've never said, "Oh, so and so had to take the vaccine." So, which is weird too, because they kind of played with that in Dead Rising, where one of the characters got bit and got infected and got not a cure, but a suppression, and then they kind of wrote that into the story where it's okay, well, now his infection is part of the story and the gameplay mechanics and stuff like that. That's cool, and it makes sense. Out of all the characters throughout the entire Resident Evil universe, they didn't think to do that once. Especially when you have Wesker, who did get infected and he became a fucking supervillain. They never thought that maybe, well, maybe they did, because I still think that Resident Evil 3.5 with Leon, I think they were going, one of the builds, they were going to infect Leon. But I mean, that's not even with the virus, that's with the fucking parasite or whatever. But I think they were going to infect him, and that was going to be a thing somehow. So it's they thought about it, but I don't know. They didn't follow through on it for some reason.
I just realized that they did have the whole vaccine thing in Degeneration. After they all got out of the airport, you see Claire coming out of the tent, and she's holding her arm because she just got vaccinated or whatever. They all had to do it. That's the only time I've ever seen them do anything with vaccines.
Maybe you're just supposed to believe that everybody did that.
They just spray some shit in the atmosphere.
First aid sprays have the vaccine in it.
Or you gotta go quarantine for 2 weeks.
Oh, your arm got chainsawed off. Okay, first aid spray. That's fine. It's good.
Flesh wound.
Sherry got infected.
And then got superpowers.
Like Wesker.
He's how the fuck did you get those? My parents were scientists. Scientists. Science.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, the characters have fucking plot armor. Main character shields. There you go, Dante. But they had so many opportunities to just so many characters that they could have done it with one. They could have even killed some off through the virus. That would have been cool. Have some casualties. It's not realistic for everyone to just survive. That's kind of dumb.
Have Chris die after saving Claire from Rockford Island. Done. He gets the virus and he has to leave him there.
What's weird too is they even have all these secondary characters that they just throw away. Why not just kill them? Infect them with the virus. If you're never gonna do anything with them again, why not just kill them?
Because then you're fridging them for the next game.
I mean, didn't they do that with Steve and Piers?
Piers never.
2 out of 4,000 characters?
I mean,
sure, but they are secondary characters, and they have thrown them.
Killed Ada in 2.
Yeah.
And then when she shows up in 4, you're why? It's Ada here.
So are we all kind of agreed that it's kind of dumb, and we expect some of the survivors to be more already infected going into future Resident Evil games?
They should all just be infected, all of them.
Wow.
I don't buy it that if they got bit from a zombie, that means they're immediately affected. I don't buy that being you get 100% guaranteed that you are infected. You know, it's kind of like hit and miss. Like some
like
people,
corona.
some people might pick up a cold or a flu from someone. Others may not be affected. I think it works that way. What I will say though is what thing has become more apparent, especially with 6 and Vendetta, is that it's shown some characters like Chris and Leon becoming more jaded characters because they've gone through all these experiences and they're becoming a bit more reckless, a bit more hardened, that sort of thing. So I wouldn't say they all get infected, but they all are affected in some way because of it. And it's wearing on the characters to some extent.
Yeah, I do like that, especially with Leon, probably more than anybody. I guess they're doing that now with Chris, but I like how he's got this arc, you know, like he started as like a rookie cop and he was like, you know, he couldn't get anyone to listen to him. He's a little bitch or whatever, you know. And then he turns into like a total badass, and then he becomes like you were saying, like this jaded, like hardened kind of like I don't give a shit. I'm just gonna do the job kind of thing. Like it's a good arc, you know. It makes sense given the circumstances, and it makes for an interesting character. And I like when they do stuff like that. So I do like that. And you know what? We're wrong. All the characters in Outbreak, they're all infected.
I thought we were talking about main characters.
Well, thanks to 7, it's canon. Because of Resident Evil 7, because of that, it's actually canon Outbreak. Because of one of the characters.
Alessa, I think.
Yeah.
Damn it, Diz.
The bitch in the red dress.
Yeah.
I feel like they canonized that a while ago, but I could be wrong.
But then that's another set of plot holes right there. That game entirely is just like
7's rough. Like, what the fuck is Ethan? Like, what is even going on with that story, anyways? Like, is he a fucking moldy monster? Is Mia too? Like, what? I don't understand that game.
It's because of the big fart. She did it.
All right, let's move on to the next plot hole. Sometimes characters will pick up items like a crank or a key, and they use that crank or key in some place. And the little text comes up saying, would I like to discard a certain item? Like, how the fuck does that character know they're not going to use it later?
Intuition.
Okay, I kind of get it with keys. Kind of get it with keys, but with a crank, it's like, hang on. I might need it later.
It's
Well,
you are the character though, so it's like it's your decision. Like you want to throw this away, and it's like yeah, I do.
All right, let's put it into the original RE3, right? So Jill picks up the battery from the car, right, and puts it into the tram. Is it a tram? Moving shield, whatever Nikolai calls it. It's just like, why did she think to pick up from there? I mean, what? There's other vehicles around, even near the fucking tram. So why not just go there and go? Whoop.
Have you? I just on the subject. Have you ever lifted a car battery or a battery big enough to move a train?
Yes.
Yeah, it fits
heavy.
neatly in
Heavy.
your pocket.
But where the fuck did she put it? She's not even wearing pants and her
That's another
That's
thing.
what the skirt is for.
That's
She's
another
like,
thing I wanted to bring up. So that kind of ties into another plot hole thing I wanted to discuss. The other one is, it's like in Resident Evil Remake, they did realism mode where whatever you put into the chest is always in that chest, and you go to another chest, that item isn't in that same chest. So why haven't they done, realism mode in other Resident Evil games?
They can't be asked.
They got rid of the whole item box anyways, like eventually anyway, when it turned into an action game. So I don't know.
Resident Evil 2 remake, Resident Evil 3 remake.
Well, I mean, those the remakes. They're still using the same rules that the original used, more or less.
So then why did the Resident Evil 1 remake have realism mode?
What do you
They're-
mean realism mode?
They were trying to mix it up.
Alright, so in Resident Evil 1 remake, there is, invisible mode?
Oh, it's a mode you have to actually like activate.
Hmm.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you meant like they just put that in the game, and I was like,
Oh, no.
what the fuck have I been playing? What? I see. Makes sense now.
Yeah.
I think they just didn't want to spend the resources to add that mode in. I think they just thought, right, that's done. We're going to leave it at that and move on to the next thing. Just like they did with Resident Evil 3 Remake. They could have added more stuff to it, but they said, nope, that game is finalized. We're moving on to Village and another remake. They just didn't want to put that effort into it.
To be fair, they probably don't even remember that they did that. They did it one time in a game a long time ago. They probably either don't remember it even happened or didn't think it was significant enough to bring it back. Like, I fucking forgot about it. Like, it is cool. Like, but at the time they probably just, they threw it in there to mix it up, just like with Zero. They made it so you can drop shit wherever you wanted to and whatnot. So it's just a gimmicky one and done thing that didn't stick, I feel like.
Okay. Let's do the last one then. Where the fuck are the children?
Dead.
Dead.
Brown bread.
They're with they're in the bathrooms.
Of the RPD?
Mm-hmm.
See, I was like, But what about Resident Evil 6? When the missile goes off and the gas comes out and everyone gets infected at the same time. And I'm just like, where's the kids then?
I mean, in Resident Evil 2 Remake, in the Sherry gameplay section, there is that document or memo or file where you read, and it is implied that they're using kids to experiment the virus on, or do their experiments on. So I just assume that based on that information, that these other organizations, all these bad guys, like in RE6, they took in kids as experiment material.
All of them?
Yeah.
Sure.
So did they just go at the
Children. 7 of them.
At the masonry ward in the hospital? It's like, oh, that one's given birth, right? Fucking.
I mean, they are in China, so
I mean, think of,
Racist.
killing babies.
I mean, in that big elevator room in Resident Evil 5, in that tri-cell area where they have all those pods of
Yeah.
people in them, some of them could have easily held children in there, but the game developers dare not to show that because that would be considered, no, that's too controversial and all that. But they could have had children suspects in those pods.
I mean, that's your answer. Capcom's chicken shit.
That's the obvious answer, but I just try to put some
Yeah, they're
explanation in there.
He's Paul W.S. Anderson went now for it. So, yeah. But yeah, there's lots more plot holes, but perhaps we'll do it again next week. Maybe. But yeah.
maybe.
That was survival horror! Right, okay. It's time for me to... Where is that
Carlos.
fucking thing?
Carlos.
Yeah.
Okay, it's game time.
Okay, Sean, you have some games, I believe.
I do.
I don't. About fucking
Shock horror. It's like, never really happens.
Wow. Normally I'm hosting, sir. You guys do the games, so.
Did you just call me sir? Did you just assume my agenda?
Madam, I'm sorry.
I have breasts, thank you very much.
They're very supple. I'm sure.
How do you know?
I don't know. Okay, so the first game we're gonna play. So some of these you guys aren't really gonna see, but the audience is gonna see like graphics and neat little things that you guys
Yay!
don't get to see. But
Wow.
For the first one, we're going to rate the entire franchise of Resident Evil. Ba-da-ba-ba.
Just giving
So,
a warning there.
if I can find the appropriate window. Oh god, there it is. I did it. I did it!
Well done.
Yay! Ta-da!
Get fucked.
Hey, wow. So, we have a diagram. Actually, you know what? Since you're here, why don't you explain how this is going to work? You can break it down. This was your idea. So,
It was, yes.
teach us the
Okay,
ways.
So what, are you using the spreadsheet I created, or are you just
Yeah.
using them from the tier list website?
I'm using the one that you made.
Okay, so it's set up like a typical tier list you see on the YouTube. They rank them from like S, A, B, C, D, E, F, etc. And I've more or less done the same thing. I've just put like the S rank is a platinum, then A is gold, silver, etc. And basically, you take the pictures of the Resident Evil games and just apply it. And basically, us four here will just discuss what our favorites are, where would you rank them, and then come to a compromise and say, right, you may think this, but us lot here, we're going to say it belongs here.
So we
Okay.
all have to agree on where they are.
Yeah,
Yep,
more or less.
That's not gonna
or the
happen.
majority. The majority. We'll have to
yeah.
go with the majority.
I mean, it'd be controversial, but, you know, we won't be the first ones doing this, let's be frank.
We're being trendy, everybody.
A bit outdated in trends, but
That's how
we're
I
doing
like
something.
it. That's how I like
That's
it.
a war channel for you.
Wow. Oh, wow. All right, then. But yes, so we have 6 tiers. We got platinum, gold, silver, bronze, okay, and shitty toilet.
Trash cow.
So
We
we're
rename
gonna-
it to trash cow.
So we're gonna.
I made that before Trash Cow became a thing, so apologies.
Next time. So we're gonna start off by putting village in the toilet where it belongs.
Yes.
Step 1. And now What's up?
I put it in okay just because we haven't played it, and I don't like 7, but it's enjoyable to some. I just want to keep it an open mind with it.
Okay, my vote's
So
for
I'd-
toilet.
Trash cow.
2.
I'm with Lee because
Motherfucker.
If the game hasn't actually come out, how can you even if we think it's gonna suck, how can we possibly
I
put it
know.
in a rating?
Easy, Ethan.
You know that feeling that we were talking about when you're playing Resident Evil and you can just feel that you don't need a key anymore and you throw it away? That's me with Resident Evil 8. I know I don't need it. I'm just going to throw it away. Okay, so since we don't agree, I guess
We have to
I'm
put in
okay with okay. I guess.
I just mean, like, why is it being rated at all? Like, should it just be games that people have actually played?
Yeah, I just added that for shits and giggles.
It's gonna suck. Like, I'm with you on that, but
It's okay. So
shouldn't
It's-
you,
it's-
shouldn't
let's
you be
agree on
doing
this. Do
games?
you think it will be one of the worst in the franchise?
Yes.
Yes.
So it goes in the
Consider it
toilet.
part of the franchise.
Exactly. So
Alright.
it goes in the toilet. All right. Boom.
All right, just to move on.
Okay.
Not to have any arguments with this,
Okay.
just move
So
on.
now we're gonna do the numbered titles. So the core titles, I guess. Then we're gonna do the spin-offs and then the handhelds. So Resident Evil 0. Is it platinum, gold, silver, bronze, okay, or toilet?
I'm gonna give it a bronze.
I feel like it's a silver.
Let's say between bronze and okay.
Ouch! Wow.
I really like 0, but I admit it's not to everyone's taste. I think silver is a fair place to put it.
So, poor K. So why do we think it's good or bad? I feel I feel like it's good because it tried to do like in a time of Resident Evil still trying to stay true to itself, but also doing something new. I feel like it tried to do that in the right way. I feel like it remained what it was. It played the same, but it still tried to do some things different. It added the two people. You get to control both characters simultaneously. You can drop the items wherever you want. It did some unique things that tried to kind of push the tank control version of Resident Evil forward while keeping its identity. And I really like that. Depending on who you talk to, some people love or hate those mechanics. But I like that it tried to do something interesting. And I personally thought it was cool that you could just throw shit on the floor because, like, why the fuck wouldn't you be able to do that? Like, if it was you, why the fuck can't I just put this on the ground when I need to free up some space? I thought that was a really cool thing to be able to do. So I really like that. I like that we saw Rebecca again. I like Billy. I thought he was an interesting character.
He's Dante's favorite character.
The story was weird. The leeches and all that. I didn't really get on board with. That was one of the stranger choices, I guess, at the time. But I don't know. Overall, I thought it played well. It was one of the better playing tank control Resident Evil games, and I like the new mechanics that they put in there. So I think it's not a great game. It does have some missteps. It is kind of long and lots of backtracking, and it was starting to show the formula's age, and I get that, but I enjoyed it. I think it's kind of middle of the pack. I feel is appropriate because of that. So I say silver.
I agree with Shaun, and I know I may have not played Zero as much as some of Resident Evils because you'd have to be in the right mood to play it, to experience it, and to just give it a go. That said, I respect it being different. It doesn't feel like it's like sure the tank controls and the style of Resident Evil. It was shown its age, but compared now to the games, like all its HD remastered and all that sort of glam, it looks kind of timeless. It looks like you can just play it and you don't have to what's the word? Tamper down your expectations because it's kind of like classic RE, just with the ability to have another person behind you shooting the enemies and putting things on the floor. I just wish it got more respect at the time, when it came out on the GameCube, and that they did more with the plot and characters with Rebecca and Billy. I feel it.
Oh, sorry.
Go
ahead. No, go
ahead. I'll say this, and you may not agree with this, Shaun, but I feel this is a Marmite game. Some people are going to love it. No. Some people love it. Some hate it. It's in the middle of that kind of thing.
That's fair. I just want to point out too that I feel like it's easy to overlook the whole playing Billy and Rebecca simultaneously, where you can move them both and stuff. If you actually utilize that, it's actually a really cool mechanic. That could have, I feel like if they ran with that could have been a cool thing to keep because, they obviously wanted to have two characters, right? Things ended up going co-op and whatnot, but then it ruins the horror and whatnot. That's a good way to have the two people, but still keep the creepiness and the fear because it's still just you. But what's cool is Billy was kind of like your tank. He could take more damage, and Rebecca, she was weaker or whatever. But I think she had the more inventory space or whatever. So just like the original Resident Evil, right? So they had pros and cons, strengths and weaknesses and whatnot. And being able to use them simultaneously was cool because you could move Billy in front of Rebecca and she could kind of hang back and shoot and support. That's kind of a crazy thing to think about having in a Resident Evil game, to have a level of co-op strategy almost. it's really unique, and the way that they handled it, I thought was really interesting. If you really explored that, I feel like you'd have a deeper appreciation for the gameplay that they had in that game too. So I feel like that's, kind of like the make or break thing. If you didn't really get into it and give it a chance and explore the mechanics that were there, you're probably going to be a lot harsher on it than you would otherwise. Because it was a really cool mechanic, I feel. Anybody else? You guys gonna make a case for your opinions, or are we just gonna put it in silver?
Resident Evil games make you backtrack way too fucking much already, to the point where you get somewhere you need to be and you realize the item is fucking 3 mansions away. I didn't like that, and I don't like the switching back and forth. Like, it would have been better done just co-op. So the game, like you said, is long, and then when you have to backtrack more to get your items and to do the puzzles and to do this, and it's like, oh, I finally got here. Fucking Rebecca can't push this goddamn bookshelf. Gotta go back with fucking Billy. Like, it's too much. It's too much.
There's a big lack of replayability, because like once you beat the story,
Yeah, I beat it once.
that's it.
Exactly. I beat it once, and I've never been able to go back. I've played Resident Evil 4 more times than this one, because it's just like, it's too long. And that's why when you say like, oh, we got to finish our Let's Play, I'm just like, I can't commit to it because I get bored of it so fast. And I don't know. That's why I think I'm like okay in bronze. Like, I wouldn't put it as a silver, but
Yeah, I mean, for me, having a platinum on the game, I got so bored so quickly.
yeah, I can't imagine that. That you put yourself through that. That's...
Yeah, granted, I had help with Alex, but still, I was just like, can we play Resident Evil?
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm going to stick with bronze.
All right, we'll put it in bronze.
That's fair.
So
We won one.
the original PS1 Residential Evil. For me,
I mean,
oh, you go ahead.
It opened up the doors. It has value of comedic standards with the voice acting. Gameplay is okay, but it's dated a lot. So I don't know. I think possibly silver, because it's one of them games you could actually go back and play and still enjoy to a degree.
Yes.
I've never finished it.
Lee?
I have to give it bronze. Sure, it's the first in the series, and it has its comedic voice lines and all that, but beyond that, it's really hard to go back to it. I could go back to 2 and 3, the OG ones, very easily, but RE1, no. The remake just did that, what RE1 did, and just magnified it. I just can't look back on RE1 and thinking, yeah, I really want to play that.
I think we should also, to the best of our ability, rate these like from the perspective of when they came out too. Kind of like where we were talking about with Resident Evil 0, how it was trying to do new things in a time when it needed to evolve, where it was wearing thin. Like with Resident Evil 1, like it was such a important game. You know, it
opened up the genre of survival horror.
It coined survival horror, even though you can argue whether that was the first survival horror game. It's what made it popularized it, and it coined the phrase. So like it essentially created survival horror. So it's a big deal. I played it when it was new. So like at the time, even though it's probably hard to believe it now with the games we have today, it was scary. The voice acting, it was perceived in a different way. Like I was younger, of course. I was pretty young. But in terms of technology and what video games were before, we didn't have live action. We didn't have cinematic games. We had fucking Pac-Man and stupid shit like that. Like going into the 3D realm of video games, it was just very new and terrible. But at the time, to see actors on screen in your video game as the characters doing acting and even just having voice and stuff like that was like really cool, and it made a big impact, so you could appreciate what it was doing at the time. At the time, you weren't like, oh, this is garbage. It's like, holy shit, you can do this? Oh my god, this is great. It's like a movie. So it was a very different experience comparing it from now to when it came out. So you have to kind of give it some leeway. That being said, I think it should, I would say gold, but at least silver. I think gold just because it does carry so much weight. You wouldn't have these, this massive library of games and other spin-offs and survival horror games without it. And it created the whole, survival horror control scheme and the concept of what, we would know as survival horror as a whole came from that game. And it did it really well. It was fun. It was a new concept with just exploration and having to find keys and find items to solve puzzles. Like that was all a very new thing, and they handled it in a very innovative and new way, and it created Resident Evil and what we want out of Resident Evil even today, with the remakes. And we wanted more puzzles, and they kind of went back to that, but like the desire to have those puzzles is because the original Resident Evil even existed.
Fair point.
And I still like how it plays, honestly. I'll go back and play the original Resident Evil any day.
Tank
I
controls
love it.
all the way.
I fucking love tank controls, man. They're great. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we think? Jazz, you're neutral. What's your neutral stance, given what you've heard?
I mean, it sounds like it probably belongs in silver because, like, it's
I would
not
say silver.
the best. It's a classic, and it's like the keystone or whatever that word is, to the series. But I would put it silver because there's been like it's just
It's grown a lot.
it's like you go back and it's pretty like basic. There's not much detail in like the mansions and stuff. Like it's going back now, it's a little more boring than like having played it in the 90s. So
Yeah.
plus we ruined it for ourselves with the
Yeah, if we didn't have this, we wouldn't have the residents.
with the residents. I can't see the game as a horror game anymore. It's just a bunch of
Yeah.
retards running around the house.
And that's why I say, try your best to overlook that and look at it for what it was at the time, because again, the voice acting is a joke. The graphics are terrible. It's very simple.
Just
But
like
all
the
of that
Resident
was so different
Mhm.
back in the day. Like when I played that game, like I didn't even know what the fuck was happening because I didn't know, like, games like that didn't exist. Like I didn't know. I was just running around trying to kill shit because that's what video games were to me. Like the fact that I had to avoid enemies, like the opposite of what I was used to, and do puzzles and figure shit out was like mind blowing. Like it was so different. But yeah, that's fine. I agree with silver. What's up?
The only reason I would put it in the gold is because of its soundtrack and because of this.
Bwah. That was the director's cut. You get the fuck out of here with that. Alright.
So are we all agreed on silver then?
Yeah, I'm okay with silver.
Okay,
2?
silver it is. Which one? The
Platinum.
original?
OG 2.
Platinum.
Gold.
It's like the first one I played, so.
Why? Just because it was the first one you played?
No, because it's fucking amazing. I shat my pants when the liquor walked down the window. That's like horror, right there.
I wasn't scared by it ever, but I could appreciate the atmosphere of it, and I liked how there was even 4 scenarios and the characters, and so yeah, I'd give it gold/platinum, to be honest. So put it up there as one of the highest.
Well, it had more fear than any of the games I've played. I feel like we're walking around the city and all you hear is like that, and you're like, the fuck is that? And you turn the corner and there's zombies eating a body, and you're like, okay, yeah, that's pretty like shit. I would have walked right into that. And when you get on that bus, example, like you hear him crawling, and suddenly he's grabbing your fucking legs. Like the horror just jumps out at you, and I found that was really, really fucking survival horror.
But one did that too, though, because like the first zombie that you see when you don't even know what the fuck to expect and what that game is, like you turn a corner and you're literally like 2 feet away from a zombie, and you hear the same thing. You hear like whatever crunching.
I feel like because one, like, it's older, and because it was like all basically in the mansion or in a lab, like you don't have the outside atmosphere, the fire, the sounds, the atmosphere. And
yeah.
I like that whatever you do as one character fucks your game up in the other character. Like, oh, why'd you take that? I was gonna have that, now I don't have it. And with Mr. X too, it's like, I don't know. I stand by.
My opinions on the OG Resident Evil 2.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I first played it on the official PlayStation Magazine demo, and we never got further than the fire. We didn't know what the hell was going on. We just got killed, munched by zombies. It wasn't until I got it on the GameCube where I understood it and fell in love with it.
That's a cool cover.
Especially the PS1 version, just stretched in the GameCube DVD case. But
welcome to UK.
yeah, this is the PAL version. They got better artwork for the majority of Resident Evil games than the NTSC versions. Frankly, platinum. No dispute on that.
Yeah, okay, I've changed mine to go platinum because I would prefer the original Resident Evil 2 than the remake, simply because there's more replayability. So, yeah, platinum.
Okay, so everybody thinks it's platinum?
Do you?
I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. I would put... Honestly, I feel like 1 and 2 should both be gold. But I feel like it's a close platinum because it did take what the original did, and it did... Like, it did grow it a lot, and it did a lot of, new things, and it like with Mr. X and the zapping system, and the characters intertwining their stories and having 4 playthroughs, and like it had a lot of content, and it executed it all really well. But again, it wouldn't be what it is without 1. But yeah, I'd say platinum seems fair. It'd be platinum or gold for me.
Platinum it is then.
3.
Original?
Mm-hmm. I'll say remake if we're doing the remake.
Okay.
Shall I start?
Yeah,
Sure.
go on then.
I would have said this was a silver initially because it kind of felt too action orientated compared to 2, and I liked the slower pace, the more interactions with the characters. You had the choice between Leon and Claire, whereas this you were stuck with Jill. But I know this is kind of going against what we said about thinking of these games at the time when they came out, but having played the remake, it's made me appreciate this much more because you feel that tension when Nemesis is coming. You're thinking, do I flee or do I fight?
Original Nemesis scared me. It still scares me. Remake Nemesis, I laugh at it.
Yeah, and with this, there's a lot of RNG to it, so you're not always going to get the same experience you thought you had before. So it gives that more replay value. And maybe this is me admitting I'm cheating, but because this is on GameCube, I do have an action replay. So if I want to, I can just breeze through the game with cheats and just have endless fights with Nemesis. That was just so appealing to me.
Plus,
So-
it's the game that Jazz spent the longest on any Resident Evil.
So I have to. I still prefer Resident Evil 2, so I have to give this at best a gold. But it's much better now because we've played the remake.
Yeah, I'm happy with gold / silver as long as remake 3 doesn't go above the original.
Yes.
Sean?
Minus points for no pants.
Yeah.
But you can unlock them after playing through the game. So.
I mean, if you had the PC or Dreamcast version of this, you could have much more extra costumes and outfits. Like you can have the Regina outfit, for
Yeah, I
instance.
thought that was fucking weird. Like,
It was weird, but it was
Why?
something different. So you didn't always have to have pantless Jill.
Yeah, but
Could be disco suit Jill.
Yeah,
fucking leotard Jill.
it could be RPD Stars Jill.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Second best. It's a tie. I'm okay with putting it in silver. Like,
Yeah.
other than being really fucking confusing finding your way around the city, compared to like how is it linear, like how one way it is in RE2. Like, this is the way to the RPD, whereas this one is like you can go everywhere. But it was like too, like it had that fear effect. You don't know when that guy shows up, fucks your day up.
That guy.
Lots of puzzles. Unfortunately, I didn't get to enjoy the puzzles as much because by the time I got to them, like I'd already seen the game played a lot. But like, pants or no pants, it's still Jill, and I can't put that bitch in bronze. I can't. So I'm okay with silver.
John?
I feel like it should be gold. Cause like I feel like it popularized the whole like nemesis. No, not like the term nemesis, not the character nemesis. Like that whole concept where like you had the Clock Tower games and you had Haunting Ground and all these other horror games that kind of copied what they did in Nemesis, and they did it so well. It's like the RNG, Nemesis was literally like a fucking thought in your mind always. You never know what to expect. You're always on the edge of your seat. You never know when he's going to show up or what he's going to do or what the interaction is going to be like, because you have the choice system too. Like that could come up at any time and you have a couple seconds to make a choice, and that has ramifications, and like you could die at any point if you're not prepared enough. Nemesis shows up at the wrong time. Like it was a different kind of fear, and I thought that they did it really well. And Nemesis, in my opinion, that version was super, super fucking creepy. Like it was a really good design. It was really intimidating, and just how strong and threatening he was in the game just made it really, really scary. And 3 also implemented mercenaries, right? It also started something that's still going on. Mercenaries is in 6. A form of it is kind of in 7. So like that continues to persist. And in my opinion, 3 had the best version of it ever. Like you running through the city and saving survivors if you're quick enough, and they give you rewards, and you can earn time and your time stacks, and like there's a lot of depth to it, which progressively, like as they did more mercenaries games, it lost more and more of what it was, which kind of sucks. But I feel like it had the best mercenaries mode out of all of them. So it did a lot of things really well. I think I feel like it deserves gold. And with the dodging and everything, and like it's probably one of the better playing tank controlled. Well, it's definitely the best playing like PS1 tank control Resident Evil game for sure. So I don't know. I think it's just the kind of the peak of like features and like edge of your seat kind of like gameplay. I don't know. I really think 3 is one of the best. So I say gold. So gold. What about you guys?
Yeah, I say gold.
I'm fine with gold. But I'm just kind of asking myself, did I prefer Code Veronica over 3? But yeah, for now, gold.
Everybody agree?
Sure.
Wow. Jazz is not entertained. We'll try to blow through the other ones once we get through the numbered ones. So Code Veronica.
Ooh, blow.
Why'd you make a sucking sound?
Well, when you no, let's not go down there.
I'm going to sum up Code Veronica like this. I want to love it, but at times it just makes me want to.
Wow.
I cannot forgive the game for its many roadblocks. It has to go in the toilet for me.
Yeah, I feel like Veronica is a divisive one because I see that a lot. A lot of people hated Code Veronica. I think it's one of the best.
Yeah,
You already know where I'm putting it, so
right out there.
there's not going to be an even opinion on this one. So
Yeah.
just
I like it. I can deal with its problems, and I'm always interested in watching it and playing it again. So it's higher up there, to be honest.
Well, it sounds like we're probably going to say 3 platinums. I think it could be gold, but
How about this? I'll put Claire's part in platinum.
wow.
Antarctica part in platinum. But when you play as Chris, that shit can go in the toilet.
I
Fuck
liked
Chris.
Chris's part. I thought I thought that whole thing was cool with, you got to have the showdown with Wesker, and that whole fight was
You
cool.
can't play it though. You can't play against Wesker though.
No, I
it's,
know.
It's a cutscene.
But at the time I was like, okay, this is building up to getting to fight Wesker, and like I liked how that was done. Like I thought that was cool.
But like Wesker is sending out these fucking little drone robots. I have you now. With his hunters, that was just like he doesn't have better shit to do than to
terrorize
program. Yeah.
Well,
He's like,
no,
I have this big mission for Umbrella, but I'm gonna terrorize this fucker because he shot me.
I mean, he
time.
does hate Chris. I mean,
He despises.
he despises him. But no, like those were supposed to be distractions, and then he runs into Chris, and that kind of shit happens. Like it's not.
He's like, oops.
It's not like the greatest story ever told or anything, but I thought it was cool.
Love story when when Chris and Claire are like leaving on the jet plane, and Wesker's just like staring at the plane, and Chris and Wesker are staring at each other. Like you put any love music to that, and it's so funny. Claire's just like, "Can we go?"
I just like the Code Veronica kind of pushed it more like cinematically. You know what I mean? Like you started to get more story and like more interesting. Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, so like
once
obviously
it hit PS2, it was like whew.
Exactly, but this was the first one, right? This was the big jump in graphics and storytelling, and like you got a lot more out of your story this time compared to obviously any of the ones on the PS1. So it just made a bigger impact at the time when it came out because it was a lot more interesting and it was telling a deeper story and it had cooler cinematics and just like Steve jumping out and doing his Matrix thing with the guns, like seeing that at the time was like really fucking cool because you didn't see shit like that all the time.
And the Bandersnatch were the best fucking monster ever.
And it's like you laugh at shit like
there.
You laugh at shit like that or like Metal Gear, like Twin Snakes or whatever, because like now it's cheesy, but when that shit came out, it's like that was fucking cool, man. Like you didn't see shit like that, and it doesn't age well. But again, we should judge these for when they came out. So like at the time, it was doing something different, and it was doing it well, and it was being entertaining, and it made sense in the time period that it came out. And I thought it was really cool because of that. It started to get me to really like the characters and the way they were telling stories and stuff like that.
Plus, it's got the knife that actually does damage.
Yeah, the fucking OP ass knife.
You can swipe the knife at their feet and just not waste ammo.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And it was the last game of that style, of that tank control style, the puzzles and that kind of thing. So, yeah.
Remake was, and Zero.
Yeah, I'm kind of seeing remake as Like,
Yeah, remake didn't have its own like plot really.
0 did.
Just the thought of like how they expanded the story, like they didn't overkill the story mode. Claire's still fucking looking for her brother and still chasing down Umbrella while Chris is still chasing. Like they found a way to keep the same characters going, not just like, oh, she's stuck in another goddamn city that's gonna blow up at the end, whatever.
Yeah. And you got to see Claire and Chris together for the first time.
Claire wearing full size pants.
And you could
Yeah, I like
So
that.
you could dual wield guns and stuff. It was cool.
so it's three against one. Sorry, Lee, it's not going in the trash cow. But where's it going to go?
I think it should be platinum. I think it's one of the best Resident Evils.
Try not
As-
to the platinum in there.
Platinum.
You already
I'm
know
gonna-
it's my favorite.
Yeah, I still love playing it, so yeah, platinum.
Sorry, Lee.
Plus,
Guess you
That's
gotta.
fine.
I put Chris's in the toilet. So.
Guess you gotta get fucked.
Wow. He's like
That's fine. Resident Evil 4.
toilet face.
Honestly, like I can. This could be platinum or toilet for me, depending on how you look at it. Because it was
Okay.
really good, but it's not Resident Evil. And it created the fucking shit house that we're in today.
Used to be a shit house. Yeah.
so
Let's put it okay. It's okay.
I'm gonna go on the other side of the scale. I'm gonna say platinum, just because it is a really incredible game, and it was another genre-defining game. You know, it fucking like you still see shit that plays like Resident Evil 4 today. Like obviously much improved, but like that whole third person over the shoulder thing, like it really kicked that in the ass and made that like a thing, and that has been felt ever since, and it continues to go today. So like it's one of the greatest games of all time, not even just Resident Evil. So it's hard to argue that. And it plays really good. You know, fucking Leon's awesome. He's one of my favorite characters. You know, it took the storytelling further as well, even though some of those story elements aren't, you know, great or appropriate for Resident Evil. But it told an interesting story, I thought. But the big thing, I feel, is just the gameplay and the action. You know, it was just a really good game. Just a terrible Resident Evil game, but I love it. I accept it for what it is. I say it's a platinum.
Leonardo.
I can't give it a platinum. I can live with the game. It's fine, perfectly doable, and you know, it's a lot of fun. But I find it kind of tiring. I can't play this from start to finish, unlike Resident Evil 2 or 3. It kind of gets repetitive after a while because you're going to a new area, you're facing more and more enemies, and sure, for those to try and just overcome the odds and all that and succeed, that's good. But it still drags. Like, too many times Ashley just gets kidnapped. They could have cut this down a bit to be a bit more, so it didn't drag so much. The best I could do is give it a silver.
Wow.
I know I'm controversial. I'm not going to be very popular for this episode.
Like, who let this guy on?
Get out of here.
How dare you throw Veronica?
Jazz, what did you say about it?
There's no silver. Please don't hurt me.
They'd have to go through me first, and then they get to you. Okay, so you'll be safe for a few days.
I just I didn't like 4. Like ever since it came out. First of all, when it first came out on the Wii, is when I played it.
Oh, okay. I was like, when it first came out on the
Because this was the
Wii.
original.
When it first came out, I played it on the Wii. I said that backwards, but when it first came out and I played it on the Wii, it was just like a bad experience right off the bat. Like having to fucking point the controller and shoot it. That was just not for me. The graphics were like really, really brightened, so it didn't look nice, and I didn't like. It felt like more of a walkthrough, like when you're playing Dark Side Chronicles or something. Like you're following this one path, and it's not as much. I think it's because it was over the shoulder, so it like changed the style completely. But also, there weren't zombies, and that's why I liked Resident Evil the most, is because of zombies. So I kind of lost interest really fast. And I know you like Leon; he's your favorite, but like personally, I don't really like Leon. Like, he's just never really been a character I liked. So having him for the whole fucking game plus Ada, I don't like Ada.
Wow.
It was kind of, I don't know. I didn't enjoy it. I finished it. Like I've played it more than once, but I wouldn't be able to put it like gold. But I can see from other people's point of views that like yeah, it changed the style and it changed a lot of things, and like you're like, hey, this guy who started off as a fucking idiot cop who was late for work survived this massive city, and now he's like a secret government agent, and like this is the shit he's up to. That's cool. So I can see why you'd want to put it as a silver, but like that, I don't know. Like I can agree if you want to put it as a silver, but for me, it's just like okay. Like it's not something I would brag about. Or if somebody's like, which Resident Evil should I play? I'm like, not 4.
Wow.
Like 5. It's the original. But yeah. How about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
You're right. It was very divisive, wasn't it? I like 4.
Impartial.
I'm going by Sean's points. Like, I like 4. It's not. It took Resident Evil and it went in a completely different direction, and knowing what we know about it now, kind of tainted it. But however, saying that, I would also say that for the Resident Evil franchise, it did need to try to go a different direction, otherwise it would get stale and just old and all that crap. So, yeah, it's for me. It can go gold.
Yeah, and like you have to understand too, like you said, Alec, they had to do something different. You know, it was getting old, people were complaining, they had to do something, and they produced a fucking amazing game. You know, it might not be amazing to you, but the majority of people will tell you it's an excellent game. You know, and again, the industry was impacted by it. Like that's how good it was.
Ah.
They succeeded. So you gotta look at it for that too.
Let's put it into context. If it wasn't called Resident Evil, if it was called something else, then yeah, problem solved.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with you giving it whatever like you choose. I'll agree with, because again, first off, it brought us Duel. So without 4, we wouldn't have had Duel. And if you're going to use the argument of like we wouldn't have had,
And none of us would have been.
Yeah, like none of the Ward wouldn't. Well, it would, but like that's how a lot of us got to meet each other. But also, it follows my point of like you see this character who started here, and they're pushing his story. Now they're pushing it too much because he's everywhere, but they're like, this is what he did, and it opens the door for like later we can have more people, which they did. Which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if like again, it's this whole game is like it's hard because we can't agree on an opinion because everybody's got their own. And as a game itself though, I would agree if you want to put it gold or silver. Nothing
Any
higher,
objections to gold?
I feel like gold is fair.
I think for Duel, Duel is
Lee?
gold.
Yeah.
Not platinum though.
Gold it is. Next one.
Resident
Okay.
Evil 5. Oh, what?
Right. can you lot go? I need to use the bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And-
Resident Evil 5.
Thank you. Oh,
Bye.
criminy.
He forgot to put himself on mute, but never mind. He's still
5.
Yeah, okay. So if we put 4 as gold, we need to put this lower. It's
Yeah.
great fun to play when you're with friends. Solo, not so much.
Like, here's where we get into the, like, is it really Resident Evil? like Resident Evil 4 was kind of forced into change, I feel, where 5 and going forward are like a symptom of that. So it's kind of different. Like 4 you can kind of forgive more or less because they had to do something and it resulted in a great game. But everything else is just like the aftermath. I feel it's like they shouldn't have taken it in the direction that they did, and it fucking ruined everything, I feel. So I don't think they should be forgiven as much as 4 would be forgiven for not being a Resident Evil game or being too action or whatever. I feel like they should be nailed to the wall for that, whether they're good co-op or not. Like, it's a big strike against it. What?
Jill asked me what I'm doing, and I told her I'm on the podcast. She said, "Tell him I say hi," and then she said this.
Wow. Goddamn camera.
And she watches them, so she's gonna see that again.
It even like her comment fucked up my camera. That's how powerful it was. I feel like 5.
You feel like 5?
There's just so many other games that I have to consider too. 5 should probably be bronze. Cause
Yeah, bronze to okay level for me.
yeah, maybe even okay. Cause like the only saving grace for me is it is fun co-op, and as ridiculous as Wesker is in that game, I really like him. You know, he's a fun villain in that. I hate how they killed him, but up until that point, I liked the Chris Wesker dynamic and just how Wesker was, and he was a really, really good villain, and I love that about 5. And I like that after 4, we kind of returned more so to the world of Resident Evil in terms of we got Jill and we got Chris and Wesker, and like those 3 kind of, you know, being together and confronting each other. That's what I wanted to see after 3. You know, like I wanted, or not after 3, after Code Veronica. You know, they left us on a cliffhanger where Chris and where Chris and Wesker were gonna fight, and I wanted to see that happen. And we kind of got it. You know, there was good scenes in there, but again, the final confrontation failed to deliver. But up until that point, I was waiting for that, and I enjoyed what I got out of it. But everything else is terrible. Mercenaries is really good, too. That's fun.
Lee?
If this didn't have Wesker in it, this would be a bronze. Because it has Wesker and arguably perhaps the second best Wesker portrayal in the RE series, I have to notch it up to a silver. That's how it is for me.
Yes.
So, if I put it as a bronze or silver, because as much as I don't like the game, like, mostly because of Chris, I don't want to be biased because Chris is in it, but like Sheva was pretty cool. I'm not a Wesker fan, but yeah, he went fucking batshit.
I love that you don't like my 2 favorite characters.
Do you like Steve? Yeah, Sheva. So yeah, like Wesker, he went batshit crazy. Like just his fucking drive just to get his virus out there, but also like his hatred of Chris getting in the way and like just everything combined. And yeah, he was a pretty good bad guy. And yeah, the volcano was stupid. But I would still having it co-op is probably the only reason I would put it as a maybe silver, because we have fun playing at, and it's like you get overwhelmed and you're like, I'm low on ammo, and then your friend has to come save you, and it's more like how it would be if you're in that situation with a partner. So I like that. But what would probably prop it up is the Lost in Nightmares. Like the gold edition shit really fucking sold me on it, because then I don't know, that brought you back to like classic Resident Evil, where you're like just in this shit like dungeon area and there's these monsters and all you have is a little gun, or not even, just flash grenades. But yeah, I'm okay with silver, brown, silver.
I want to point out too that I fucking hate Sheva, but only because of what she represents. Like
Racist.
no, no, it's the opposite. Actually, it's the fact that she was put there. I mean, I can't prove it, but the signs are there, and from what I've seen, you look at like the first couple of trailers and what we knew about Resident Evil 5, and then the explosion of Resident Evil 5 is racist. There's a white guy in Africa killing a bunch of black people, and then all of a sudden, hey, here's Sheva. And they start peppering in like some white dudes and some Spanish guys, and it's like, and then all of a sudden we start seeing all these completely different story directions, and like, I promise you, that game responded to the racist accusations and took a hard left, and you can see it. Like, Wesker never fucking acknowledges Sheva. Why? Because she wasn't supposed to be there.
He just doesn't give a shit.
I bet you. Why though? Sheva's there. Like, why would you not have some kind of interaction with her? Like, I feel like whatever interactions, physical interactions that were kept, were supposed to be Jill. And that fucking bothers me, because like, I feel like the story probably would have been better and fit better and made more sense had they stuck to what it was going to be originally. But since they had to deviate to avoid being blown the fuck up, it changed a lot. And like, every time I see Sheva, I'm just like, you're here because you had to shut people up, and that sucks. Like, if they made Sheva to work with that story, that's one thing. But that she was put in there for a shitty reason. Like, she's
the PR.
Yeah, she got put in there as the PR person.
She's like, why here? I work with HR. They sent me down here.
Yeah, and that just fucking sucks to me. I don't even think that game was supposed to be co-op initially.
That's interesting, because I've never thought of it that way, but I can go back and think of the initial demos of it, and so you're right, it's mainly Chris. It's one player.
It's all Chris. And like, just everything about that. Like, I'm actually going to do a video about that game at some point, but like, even the way that game was, like, the game was supposed to have all these different mechanics and stuff. Like, it was like, light was supposed to be like an element where it's like working against you. Like, when you go inside of a building or you leave, there's like this blinding light. So like, when you're running away from enemies and you have to go outside, it's like, well, fuck, when I go outside, I'm not going to be able to see for a second, and I don't know what's out there, and whatever's chasing me, like, I'm going to have to deal with not being able to see. And like, the whole idea of being in a bright environment was supposed to influence the gameplay in a dramatic way. That was gone. That got thrown out the window too. So like, that game, just everything about that game changed around that time. Like, as soon as that talk of racism entered the gaming space and the news, like, they didn't show anything for a while, and then when it came back, totally different game. So that's why I don't like Sheva. She's a fine character and everything, but it's just what she represents really fucking bothers me, because I want to know what the hell that game was going to be before that happened, because I think it would have been a much better game. I think we would have got more out of Jill, more out of Wesker. You would have had your Chris, Jill, Wesker battle like everybody wanted. And all that shit went out the window for something so fucking stupid.
I feel like they should have released the Lost in Nightmare shit with the game initially, because you know how like it took a while before they made it with the gold edition, because then like it happens out of nowhere. Like Chris is just like, oh, I had a partner once, and then you see this little cutscene where they fight and she jumps out the window, and you're like, really? Like she's one of the main characters, and you're just gonna like that's it?
Yeah.
Whereas like if they had that initially, and you're like, oh, you know, you could play that after, then you're like, oh, okay.
Oh, you
But having
mean-
the wait between was just
You mean if they, put that in the game instead of charging you for it later? Like, seriously, if that was built into the game, like, you played the flashback, it would have made a lot more sense. But oh no, let's charge for that. Fucking bullshit.
dodge chart. Okay, let's put it in the garbage.
So what are we saying?
Silver.
I say bronze.
Yeah, I'm happy.
I say
Let's
bronze,
go
but no. Well, no, fuck
Bronze.
that. 5 is not as good as OG Resident Evil 1. Fuck that.
Bronze.
I refuse.
All right, bronze it is.
Okay. Oops, God,
What's next?
God
6.
damn it. There we go. Alright, yes. Resident Evil 6. Garbage. Toilet.
Again, it's exactly the same issue. It's fun with friends. That's it.
I just feel it's guilty of more issues than 5 was.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like 4 was action, 5 was super action, 6 was just on a fucking another plane of existence with its over the top bullshit. Like, action games shouldn't be that fucking over the top, let alone a goddamn Resident Evil game. Like, it was just so ridiculous. And then fucking Simmons and his T-Rex fucking bullshit. Like, they just lost their minds with that game. And just all the crazy random shit that the Juava mutates into. Like, what the fuck is that game? And just trying to do so much. It was a nightmare. I say okay at best. Toilet,
Yeah.
probably. Well, I'll say okay. I won't say toilet.
Okay. Yeah, because 6 for me, I can play it, I can enjoy it.
Yeah.
So okay.
It's fun. Like, if we're talking about just a fun game to play, it's probably gold-ish. But there's just too many problems with it being in the Resident Evil universe that just I can't forgive.
It hurts the story.
It shits on everything. The only thing it does right is the gameplay. And not in a Resident Evil way.
I want to stay out of 6.
Mm-hmm.
I've had too many
All right.
arguments, so
Lee.
Frankly, I'd rate this over 4 and 5. But the Ada campaign is unnecessary. The Chris thing is totally unnecessary.
agreed.
Gameplay-wise, absolute gold material. But I have to put it in bronze because there's too many problems with it.
So we've got 2 okays and a bronze. So should we say it's okay?
Well, I know that Jazz is going to say higher above a bronze. So let's compromise and just say bronze.
Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Seven. Resident Evil 7.
Trash cow.
I don't even know if it's worth stating my opinion about this because, like, at least 2 of you are going to say toilet.
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to let my actions say everything.
All right, then. We'll put it in okay because I'm going to say. No, that's fine. I'll put it in the toilet.
I would like as a game, gold. As a Resident Evil game, toilet.
Say, well, we just had that argument with 6.
Exactly.
Though. So,
That's what I was like, the game was like really cool, but no monsters.
So
We're
if we're
monsters.
using that same logic, then we have to give it a little bit of a bump for being a good game,
I think the
gameplay
over the
wise.
shoulder toss was fine because just like 8, we're not considering it as a Resident Evil. So
Wow.
It's one I will never want to complete, not yet alone play it ever again.
tell you what category it goes into.
I feel obliged to complete
Wow.
the game once, and after I've done that,
All
I've never.
right, it goes in the trash. Jesus Christ, you guys are the worst.
You're outranked here, Sean. That's the facts.
Get
The
fucked.
funny thing is, his thing for Resident Evil 8 is exactly the same argument I have for 7. So
Yeah.
But I can tell you, I can give you plenty of reasons why 7 is a better Resident Evil game than 6,
and you already have on
5,
previous
or
podcasts.
4. And I'm just
Shut up.
saying, wow. But you can't do the same to justify your shit, so get fucked. Anyways,
We can, but we don't want to drag this out too long.
wow.
Yes.
Anyway, so these ones we're going to go through a bit quicker. We can talk a little bit more about the remakes, but the rest of them I want to go through fast. So we'll do the handheld ones real quick. Gaiden,
Trash.
Never played it.
trash. Super trash.
I'd say okay.
Get fucked.
Trash it is.
Yeah.
It was ambitious for what it was. I can't fault it for that.
That's very kind calling Resident Evil the golf game ambitious. Deadly Silence.
Never played it.
I
It's
did.
basically original.
I feel like
Uh,
it's got to be at least a silver because it's the same game, only better. They added some new perspectives, new gameplay modes, some remix stuff. They made it so you can like swipe, you could draw on the screen to swipe your knife. They added a couple of modes. It's a really, really good version of the original remake, and they cleaned it up a little bit too, so it even looks a little bit better. So I say gold or silver.
I say silver.
Silver. If that's what the original got, then yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Jazz, you
It's
never
just
played
held
it,
back
right?
because it's on the DS.
Mercenaries 3D.
Never
Never
played it.
Toilet. it,
Yeah, it could
was
be.
okay.
It could be okay. I mean,
it was okay. I mean, it's a way for people who play handheld games to play together, just specifically to play Mercenaries, not to have to unlock
yeah,
the fucking Mercenaries.
it's just
But
a
it was-
multiplayer handheld version
Because
of
it was
Mercenaries.
handheld, you're playing on this little fucking screen, so you can't see what's coming. You can't. I don't know. It was okay. I have that one actually.
Yeah.
Get to play as Claire.
I mean, I haven't even really played a whole lot of it just because it is kind of like, I mean, it's just Mercenaries. That's all it is. There's nothing more to it. So it gets kind of repetitive pretty quick. And just playing it on a tiny baby screen kind of sucks. I'm not a big handheld gaming person.
I've never turned my 3D on my 3DS. Like it's so
Yeah.
nauseating. Except
Yeah.
to see
Yeah.
the chicken feathers fly at you in Zelda.
Honestly, I'm kind of indifferent. It's okay in my opinion, but I could see it going in the trash too, in the toilet.
It's
So,
okay.
Okay is fine.
Okay, it's just
I
like
agree.
okay, and then you throw it in the trash. So
I don't have it on me, so I can't demonstrate that.
it. I do, but it's in my room.
Okay,
I'm
spin-offs.
doing
Okay.
Resident Evil Outbreak. I say
Do we count
silver.
both of them as
No, they're separate.
Outbreak?
Well, I mean,
Okay.
well,
Pretty much the same game.
2 is
Yeah, they just broke it up into 4 scenarios each.
yeah, but 2 is a worse game in my opinion. I think whatever the original gets, 2 should be one below.
Frankly, I'd rank them both as at gold. They're just fun to play when you just want to be an ordinary citizen and be completely underprepared.
I say silver. It was ahead of its time, and it just didn't have the means to be what it wanted to be. and it did a good job for like the limited resources that it had to be what they wanted it to be. But like the characters are kind of generic and the missions are kind of bland. There's like no story almost. Story's pretty much meh.
A what if scenario in
Yeah.
essence.
I hate timers, and that game is built around a timer. You know, you're always infected, so you're always racing against the clock. Playing online with people, half the time you get dickheads that just fucking turn on you and shit. Communication was broken. Like, it had a lot of problems. Like, I like it for what it was trying to do. I love the idea, and if it came back in today's environment, I think it would thrive and be really good. But for what it is at the time of release, I think it's a silver.
Oh, I'm happy to give it silver.
I do like it.
Jazz?
I can't really rate it. Like, I don't think it's fair for me to rate it because every time I've tried to play it, I couldn't get into it. Like, I had no interest. And so I would classify it as I never really played it.
And
I have it. Trying to get rid of it.
Wow. It goes with 5 and 6 too, though, because when you play with somebody else, it is fun. You know, playing old school tank control Resident Evil with friends is pretty cool. So, but you didn't really have many opportunities to do that because who the fuck had a network adapter on the PS2? Nobody. You know what I mean? So, like, there just was no opportunity to play with your friends. So I only got to do it a handful of times. And it was great, but it was too soon. It just, that kind of a game couldn't exist properly.
So silver then?
I'm good with silver.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, silver.
okay.
Oops, shit, fuck. Dicks. Silver.
Silver shit fuck.
And then, so what do we agree on for file 2? I think it should go to bronze if the original is a silver, because, like, the levels weren't as good. It was more of the same. Fucking zombie elephant, go fuck yourself. I feel like
That was fun to take down.
they tried to push things too far. Like, with the creatures, they were just doing dumb things that I don't fucking appreciate. I didn't really like the levels in that one. And it just, if it was just more of what the original Outbreak had to offer, which it was supposed to be, it would have been fine. But as a standalone, it's inferior in like every way. So
I feel
I
like
say
I'm going to
bronze.
be here and say silver because it's pretty much the same game, other than they actually tuned up a little bit.
Yeah. I'd say silver too, and just to add, Resident Evil was dumb anyway. It started off dumb anyway, so you can't use that argument.
Okay. All right. Survivor or Gun Survivor, whatever.
Trash.
I've played it both with the controller and with the G-Con 45.
Yeah, they didn't know.
Yeah, so have I, and I can't defend this game. It's trash.
Nope, neither can I.
Jazz.
Never played it.
Trash it is.
Trash it is.
Trash. Gun
Yeah.
Survivor 2.
Trash.
Fucking
Trash.
utter garbage. In my opinion, one of the worst games in the franchise.
It makes the original Survivor better in comparison.
It does. It really, truly does, which is sad. That game...
It's shocking.
It's still what... I think that's the only Resident Evil game I haven't finished. That's how fucking... I finished Gaiden. Like, what the fuck? Umbrella Corps. I platinumed that game. And I couldn't get through Survivor 2. What the fuck happened to that game? Anyway. Dead Aim.
I'm fine with it.
I like Dead Aim. If you play it with a gun, I think it's a silver.
I'm going to give it a bronze. I didn't play it all that much. I more or less saw Alec play it.
I thought it was...
And he played it with the G-Con too, so...
I thought it
I'd
was...
give it a
Go ahead.
bronze between silver, so...
Yeah.
I thought it was fun, and it's still, like... It felt like a Resident Evil game. Like, it was goofy as shit. But like it was fun to play, and it didn't feel like it felt more like a Resident Evil game than 5 and 6 did. So, and 4 even for that matter. So I don't know. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It's garbage without the gun though. So I say Silver, even though Silver, I don't think it's on par with the original Resident Evil.
Have you played it with the
mouse?
Have you played it with the mouse? Because apparently the NTSC version of Dead Aim, you can play it with a mouse, a USB mouse.
That makes sense. I'd rather play it with the gun, but I could see that. I could see that working.
I can see it in Silver, so Silver.
It's the best light gun game they've done.
By far.
There we go. Silver it is.
Okay. This list is fucked. Revelations.
First one. Bronze, to be honest.
Bronze.
I see you over there.
Nothing against irrelevations, because you're trying to make chicken soup out of chicken shit, in essence. I'm sorry, but it started off as a 3DS game and you can feel it.
I mean, yeah. Well, and yeah. I was going to say...
And if you want to play the 3DS version, you have to add the Circle Pad Pro, or whatever it is, to make the most of it. That's a hard-to-get accessory and makes the 3DS unwieldy, at least to me.
I'm going to have to say silver or bronze. I think the story's fucking awful. It's really, really bad. And like you said, I mean, we should be judging this based on the original release, which would be the handheld version, which, yeah, you had to buy the Circle Pad Pro, which when that game came out was like non-existent. You couldn't find one. And like just having to buy another device just to play it the way that it's supposed to is pretty fucked up. But it did, it did bring survival horror back into Resident Evil, and I thought it did a really good job. It had a really good atmosphere. The enemies were interesting and different. It had Jill, which was nice. Because most of the Resident Evil shit is Leon, so when we do get more Jill, it is nice to see that, so that was kind of cool. Yeah, I'd say silver or bronze. I think bronze just because, again, original Resident Evil silver, I think it should be below that.
Jazz?
I'm just gonna say okay to whatever you guys say.
You're drained from this, aren't you?
I fight for the games that I know you guys aren't gonna like.
I know, but every time I fight for this game, I get in arguments or like people like block all of my points, and I don't have it in me anymore. But I basically ignored the game for its whole like when it came out, and then I borrowed it. I told you I borrowed it from Jen on the way back from the con, and I was like hooked right away. Like I spent like the whole car ride just like trying to avoid the sunlight so I could play. And I got a 3DS specifically so I could play it myself. But once it hit console, it was way better.
Yeah, I bought my 3DS to play it as well.
Just for the game itself, like even without irrelevations, just for the game itself, like I've defended it way too many times.
It's a good game. It just has problems. It's one of the more Resident Evil games on the list for sure. Gameplay-wise, theme-wise, character-wise, content-wise, but the story's really bad.
I can go as high as silver, to be honest.
2 silvers?
Sure.
Okay. Moving on.
Revelations 2.
I want to say silver, but there's an invisible enemy when you play as Barry and the little girl. I forget her name. Sorry,
Natalia.
And that enemy, when me and Alec used to play it, that kept killing. That kept killing me. That pissed me off. That just goes in a bronze. I'm sorry, but it really did. I couldn't see shit.
I was prepared for that because I went through invisible enemy mode in Resident Evil Remake, so it wasn't really that big of a deal to me. It's annoying, but I was ready for it.
I said, don't make me laugh, otherwise it makes me joke.
Sorry, but I had to reveal some truth to this.
I'm happy for it being silver because I do prefer it over Revelations 1, but they're both fine on their own things, so silver for me.
I think it's on par with the first one. I think silver's fair.
Silver it is.
Jazz?
Yeah. What? I said yeah.
Umbrella Chronicles. Oh boy.
I enjoy playing that game. I like it.
I'd say silver. The end part with
Really?
Wesker holds you back. Compared to Dark Side Chronicles, this is better.
Oh, Umbrella Chronicles, okay.
You're thinking Umbrella Corps, won't you?
No,
Nope.
I was thinking the other one. ORC. I don't know.
Well, I think it's okay or bronze. Just because, like, it's just
I'd put
like
it.
they could have just made a CG movie. Like, it's fine, but like trying to unlock all the collectibles by shooting all the little teeny tiny things in the environment's just fucking annoying. And I want all that stuff, but it's just such a grind to do that. And just, I mean, doesn't need to be like, at least tell a new story or something. Like, we don't just need a generic rail shooter retelling the story that's already there. I'd rather just see like a high quality CG movie doing the same thing.
To be fair, there was a new story in it. Just you had to beat everything else.
Yeah, and I didn't even really care for that. I thought it was alright. They ripped off the goddamn movie. More than 4 did. And I didn't appreciate that. And I thought, like, this was supposed to show us what happened to Umbrella. Like, Umbrella just fucking shit the bed and disappeared. And this is supposed to tell us why. And that was it? Like, really? I mean, it was just underwhelming.
It's an okay for me. Because I prefer Dark Side Chronicles to be higher than, this one.
I think it's fine. It's a bronze or an okay to me. I'd say bronze.
Fine by me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bronze it is.
Dark Side Chronicles.
Oh boy.
You get sick playing that game.
I do.
It's humorous.
It's the motion sickness. It just gets me. I have to give it okay at best, because the one positive, it expanded on the story plots, like for Veronica, and it made Steve a bit more bearable.
Impossible.
Play it.
It would have been better without Leon.
Wow.
It literally felt like they just needed to throw Leon in that game to have him in a game. They're like,
It
we can't
did.
have
Yeah.
a game without Leon.
really
Let's put him
did.
with fucking Krauser. It's supposed to explain why Krauser knows Leon, but it was so useless.
Kind of felt like padding.
All right.
Like,
Let's.
that part of the story didn't need to be actually shown or told. We just got it.
But I gotta
All
say,
right.
I
it
think it's a
humanized Claire a lot more too.
I think it's a bronze for me. I honestly don't even really remember a whole lot about it because after being kind of underwhelmed with Chronicles, I had no enthusiasm for it, and it was more of the same. Like, it did nothing different. It was the exact same thing. So I just kind of ran through it once, and I haven't played it since. So it's like it did the same goddamn thing as the first one did, and I didn't really like that. So I think they're
At
the
least they
same.
finished the story. Didn't cut things out, but yeah, whatever. But yeah, same as Umbrella Corps. Whatever.
So bronze.
Fine. Yeah, but it's the same.
Everybody agree?
Yes.
Great.
Hmm.
Moving on.
This song, I didn't have to think about it.
Operation Raccoon City. Garbage.
I liked it. I had fun playing it.
I'll
you know
give.
what? When you play alone, it's garbage. But when you play it with friends, you have more fun fucking around and laughing at stuff than
That's every
paying
game,
attention.
though.
Yeah,
Just
but
like we talked about 5 and 6.
but again, like if you're rating the game and it's like it was fun, it was meant to be played with friends, and I guess it would fall under not a Resident Evil game though. Like you could easily just have it as a squad game,
Yeah.
but it was funny.
I think the biggest problem for me is it feels like SOCOM, and I don't like fucking SOCOM. And I think it was actually the same team. Goddamn camera. I think it was the same team that made SOCOM, that made that game. So
Yeah.
that's why it feels like SOCOM. And I never liked SOCOM, so keep it out of my Resident Evil. On top of just not really being a Resident Evil game. So I'm okay with okay. It's fine. It's enjoyable with friends. That's about it to me.
Yeah, it's definitely okay. I'm glad when me and Alec got it, we didn't pay full price when it came out for it because it would have pissed us off. But because we knew it was bad, we kind of figured, oh, okay. And we just saw it for what it was and just thought, yeah, we can still have a laugh at this.
Yeah, okay for me.
I like that my two favorite characters in that game, one is French and the other one's British. It's
Wow.
like the two opposites.
If it's one thing I'd just add, I kind of imagine Super Sasha being one of the members of the umbrella team that you're in. I don't know why. I can just imagine her wearing that kind of like attire, the gas mask and all that.
I could see it.
Yeah, so can I.
Super Sasha is not Sasha though. Those are two different people, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, you
So-
talking about
sorry.
Sasha? You're talking about
you're
Sasha,
good.
the one that comes on the podcast, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. I was like,
Sorry,
Because no,
I'm
because
still new to this.
no, because I've seen you type that name somewhere before, and I was like, that guy doesn't really talk much anymore in the pod. I'm like, is he still active? What the fuck? But no,
Mhm.
I follow you. Like I just want to confirm.
I didn't.
Sorry for the confusion.
I didn't even catch that. Like, I guess I just heard Sasha and I knew what he was talking about. But good job.
She is super. She is
Yeah.
super.
Super duper.
she-
Sorry for the confusion.
Nope, she is super Sasha. Dorito
I
buddy.
apologize.
Dorito buddy.
Wow. Umbrella Corps.
Trash.
Never played it.
Trash.
Trash.
The only reason I have it is the machinima, and you know it, and I know it, and Alec
That's
knows it.
that's the only reason why we still have it.
I could, I could see it being okay because we had fun playing it, just being stupid and shit. But the game is.
That's true of any
It
game.
wore off though.
But that's what we've been talking about these other games too. Play it with
We
your
went
friends
really
and it can be fun. But
We played super southern on that one.
okay, so garbage,
Mhm.
and okay, so the remakes, and then that's it. Resident Evil remake.
I was expecting resistance. I was ready to say garbage.
Platinum.
Platinum.
Platinum. Yes.
Yeah.
Residential Evil 2 remake.
Where did we put the original? We've put the original on platinum, didn't
2's
we?
platinum.
I see.
I
that
think
so.
silver or gold.
I think gold for me.
I think
Yeah,
it's
gold for me.
I think it's gold or platinum. So gold it is. Resident Evil 3 remake.
Again, where do we put the original?
Gold.
Gold. So
Okay,
silver.
so silver. Yeah.
This is a bronze for me.
Wow.
That's kind of fair, actually.
Because
there's
half
lot-
half of this is the resistance thing, and I don't want to touch that.
that is true.
We don't talk
Well,
about that game. It's not real.
That
But
So
it's a part of this. It's on the back of it. You can't
No.
ignore it.
resistance is just like the demo of a different unrelated game that you get when you buy PS2 games.
mm,
That's all it is. You know what I classify this game as?
Pants. Rated P for pants.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jill wears pants, isn't it?
I think it's a silver.
Fair enough.
silver it is, as long as it's under original. I don't care.
Jazz? You look
Sure.
like you have words.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Put it as silver.
Where's Silver? Right there. So, going off this list, Resident Evil is very mediocre as a franchise. So, yeah. Got Resident Evil 2, Code Veronica, and remake as Platinum. Resident Evil 3, 4, and 2 remake are gold. Original Resident Evil Deadly Silence, Outbreak File 2, Dead Aim, Revelations 2, and 3 remake are all silver. 0, 5, 6, Chronicles, and Darkside Chronicles are bronze. Mercenaries 3D and Operation Raccoon City are okay. And then garbage is Village, 7, Gaiden, Survivor 2, and Umbrella Corps. Lots of garbage, apparently, in the Resident Evil universe. Alright, we did it. Boom. That was long as fuck. If you're still here...
Let's not do that again for a while.
Yeah. But we made
We
it.
might get a lot of comments, but not positive ones after this.
Hey, this is why I expressed my opinion. My list would be very different. But,
Same.
Right.
but that's okay.
Let's wrap this puppy up. Right. Thanks for watching. This has been episode 107. If you please leave a comment, subscribe, and if you can, please consider going to Patreon. That's patreon.com/The War Protections and donating some money. Because we all need some sugar to wake up now. Also, tweet at The Ward Pro. And also, consider buying some merch off theward.com.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You shut up. You shut up. It's coming.
Hey, remember when you said it would be here for Thanksgiving, which is tomorrow?
I thought you meant my Thanksgiving. Sorry. I forget yours is different. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because we say thanks first, because we're polite.
Happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating.
Yeah,
Get fucked.
happy Thanksgiving
Happy
to Waffle.
Thanksgiving, Canada.
Don't kill each other. Bye.
Bye. Teleportation.